Do you want me to get it ready? Oh, go.
Professionals. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the GRAPPL Weekend Show for Friday, the 1st of August, 2024. I'm Benno.
And I'm Matty. And Benno, it's definitely Thursday, mate. You forgot the
day. Damn it.
You used to be on a Friday. You used to it, mate.
I was going to say I was in August, but yeah, I was only fucking Thursday. I am melting, and I know everyone in the chat is as well. We were laughing at the Southern Softies on Tuesday, Matty, and here we are on a Thursday, and it's just as bad for us.
Mate, I need one of those G1 ice packs just on my neck at all times, or a wet flannel on the end of it, mate. It's just absolutely
like in the Olympics.
Oh, mate, it's outrageous, though, isn't it? And it's got hotter every day this week. It feels like it's just it zaps you out, doesn't it?
Could be worse, mate. You could be. I tried to play badminton yesterday with my mate Alan. Luckily, my train got delayed. I say luckily because it meant I only got there about 1:15, so it meant we only have 45 minutes. That's as much as I had in me. Only had 45 minutes of fucking sweating in a sweatbox in a shit lifestyles gym in Garston. It was painful. But we suffer for the people. That's what we do.
Yeah, you do, Ben. Of course, that sounds like 45 minutes, as you say, was well enough. But you know, Ben, that's good stuff, mate. Good going in this heat.
I was hoping today as well with a couple of minutes going live. So hello to our got all our patrons live to us. We are going to be putting this one out on the free feed as well. So later on, if you're listening on the free feed, you want to catch us live, join our Patreon, join our YouTube, and you would have got this as it went out. I was really hoping this time, Matty, I was going to be on here with the world's best internet, as I've invested in some very, very, very expensive fiber internet. Like don't think I'm exaggerating when I say the speed that I've gone for. I'm pretty sure it's 500 times faster than what I've got. And that sounds like a number that I've made up. It isn't. It is probably more than that faster than what I've got. I've been waiting for months for the fella to come. Finally came today to install it. And he said, because, you know the way my flat is like one floor? It's like it's more like a bungalow, my flat, isn't it? But there is 2 floors in it.
On a hill, though, isn't it?
Long.
Yeah,
it's like a conversion. It's a very strange little building, but there's loads of space in it. It's great. I love it. Apart from the internet issues I've had. And you know me next door neighbour, I've had all those issues with it. Turns out my fucking the internet cabling is like literally old telephone wires on the street. They've just revamped it recently for fibre. And it bounces off their house to come to mine. And he was like, I can't do any of it until I get permission to work on their property. So I've got to go. Got an email today from them saying, oh, yeah, don't worry. It'll be sorted out sometime within the next 68 days. And I was like, no, it's never coming. It's never coming. Shout out to you. If anyone works for U-Fiber, sort me out, because I'm devastated about it. I was so excited to finally be on some decent internet. But
why 68 days, though? Why 60
I don't know. Random, innit?
Yeah, it is specific.
Oh, but they need to get their written permission. They need to do all kinds, and you know what I mean? They've had enough bins off me over the year, so hopefully they're going to do me a solid here, Matt. But so close yet so far away.
I can imagine
Liverpool Lake, mate, it's what it's like living here. It's one of them.
Yeah.
We're the last street on fucking planet Earth to cable for fibre. It's insane. We've literally got that internet that I remember in 2001. We mate David Cousins at the end of the road getting going, what, ADSL? Oh, that's amazing. You can do what? You can download a song in 6 hours. That's what I've got. Like, I have to use my fucking hotspot.
To be fair, Ben, I was going to say, considering you've got that, mate, you do well. You do well on it. Like, you've got the ways round it, I suppose. But bloody
yeah. Oh, I've got like 4 different SIM contracts. I have to jump back and forth between like different companies.
Me, I wouldn't even know, mate. What to do there.
It's all graph, but we'll get there at some point. But how are you on this Thursday? Obviously, at JP's. Where's he going this weekend? He's going somewhere. Oh, it's Cologne, isn't it, for the footy?
Germany. Yeah.
This weekend. It is JP's birthday on Monday, so to cut him some slack, he deserves the fun weekend away. I think he's going with the lads, isn't he? But I said I'd give him some tips. Yeah. There's a class place in Cologne I went to where you can get all they sell is goulash, Matt, and all you get to decide is how big your plate of goulash is. And then they only sell 1 beer, which is Kolsch. And that sounds really basic, but it's like one of them places where they do the best version of anything. They do the best version of goulash you'll get anywhere. Recommended it to him. I don't know if he'll take me up on it, but he's going to a lot of old haunts, Duisburg as well, where we stayed on some of the XW chips. So hopefully he has a blast.
He said on the, I think it was on the pre-show, wasn't it? And it was privately that he's boxed off, like, he's got his days planned. He's got all 4 days planned. They're going to try and hit a football game up every game as well, which he's going to love it with the 2 older lads, isn't he? So he's gonna have a blast. He's gonna have a great time there. Like,
oh, of course. How about you? What's your weekend looking like, mate?
It
says on a Thursday. We throw everyone off when we do this on a Thursday.
Yeah, mate. But to be fair, Ben, this is probably the only weekend that I've got nothing planned until like September. It's wild enough, but like this is my only like clear run, and it's SummerSlam, Ben. That's the only thing I'm looking forward to this weekend, mate. I absolutely cannot wait. Staying up live. Just cannot wait. Might be in the chat, might not. Might just keep me forcing myself if we're recording Sunday. So, you know, we'll see how we get on. But I absolutely cannot wait for SummerSlam, mate.
Staying up live, mate. You're all right. You're going to get a nap in the day. And how are you going to navigate that? Jesus Christ.
I'm going to have to try and sleep in Saturday, which won't happen. But I've got a few, got to go and get my beard trimmed Saturday and maybe do a bit of gardening with Steph. Keep Steph happy and then hopefully just have a good night, Ben, and I'll be awake, mate. The anticipation will keep me awake, Ben. I will not fall asleep. As soon as that opening video package comes on, I'll be there, mate. I'll be wide awake.
I believe in you, mate. I do. We are looking as well. Yeah, Andy asks here. So we're just trialing something this weekend with, like I say, with the slightly different days which are throwing everybody off. We're going to try and do a Sunday spotlight, aren't we, Matty, to get it in the can, get those takes hot. Because we do know that obviously we do a lot of pay-per-view reviews, and after time it's like fucking Wednesday morning. By the time
a week later,
does anyone care anymore? We always worry about that, don't we? So we're going to try something, see if it works. It might blow up on our faces. It might turn out that like the world's biggest wrestling story drops on Monday morning and we have to do, a makeup show or something.
Sod's law, that. Something will happen.
It's got to happen. There's a new story that we're going to be leading with in a minute that literally dropped the morning after Spotlight on Tuesday. So we're kind of used to that. That's just how the podcast game works, Matty. I'm glad that you know that now.
Oh, mate, I'm learning that the hard way. But also, Ben, you asked me, mate, what have you got planned? Are you ready for the Summerfest or the SummerSlam, as Bret Hart calls it?
Well, nobody's invited me around to watch SummerSlam, mate, so I don't know what I'm going to do. It's going to sit at home on my own and cry, I think. That's what I'm going to do on Saturday. My mate Mike's invited me to a barbecue on Saturday afternoon, my real mate Mike. So I'm probably going to do something like that on Saturday. And then I suppose I'll record with you on Sunday. Just work, mates now, aren't we, mate? I understand.
Yeah. You're making me feel bad now, man.
You should. Sunday night works great for you. There's all that. I'm looking forward to me Saturday. Can't wait. But yeah, that's my weekend. And I was going to say, my month, mate, is made up with all kinds of great things going on this week. This month. It is all in month. We did unofficially kick it off on Tuesday with Carl joining us on the pre-show. But as this is on the free feed, bear with us while we plug a little bit, folks, for the people who are listening or watching on replay. So live patrons, stick with us. But a lovely fancy graphic, Matty, to show the people as we have a packed August coming up this month.
Oh, mate, I mean, where do you want to start? If we're going in some sort of order, Ben, we've got
the graphics so small. I don't understand.
Yeah,
great production. I'll figure it out.
Even my diabetic eyes can see that, Ben. We're all right there, mate. It's all right. But we've got the pilot or the debut. What are we calling it, Ben? Of the GRAPPL lads. That's going to be on Wednesday. We're going to be me, Gareth, and yourself are going to be meeting up physically in real life, and we're going to just. I'm guessing it's your phone we're going to hit record on, Ben. I was thinking this. It's definitely not going to be mine.
Delete the battle.
Yeah. Okay, you and Gareth then. There's the two phones are going to be recorded.
The third backup as well. Though,
Okay, we'll all press record at the same time. But we've got that. We're just going to press record and see if we can shoot the breeze, see what we come out with. Hopefully it's all good stuff that can be published, Ben, and publicised so everyone can listen to. So I'm really looking forward to that. As you say, Carl Gack picked an incredible left field choice of the insane clown posse, Benno. I'm sure you get your face paint ready.
I haven't given a name yet. Is it a deep cut? Is it a mixtape? It'll have to be deep cut because we've got another mixtape going on. But I think it is a deep cut, isn't it? It's just the entire career of the insane clown posse. That's what we call it.
Yeah, and how they ended up in every major federation at the time. See what the lads were up to. We also got a mixtape that I know you guys especially have been wanting to do for a long time. Predates me of best matches on British soil, Benno. So. A lot you can dive into there. I'm guessing Gareth's going to be going for a lot of World of Sport. It's much to your chagrin.
Man, it'll give me from the years 2005 to 2017. Yeah. I can tell you that right now.
So that's there, of course. And, spotlight every week. We've got time at the end of the month coming back. Liam's curating that list as we speak. He's going to drop it in our inboxes in the next week or so. Retro is going to be... also getting recorded, and as JP, I can't say it as good as him, but all roads lead, Benno, to August 24th, Saturday. Professional podcasters doing a professional podcast live, and your final tickets are still available, Benno.
Well, I've actually, now that you mentioned that, Matty, obviously that's going to be a big day. Got a lot going on. I've actually got like an artist impression of what we're all going to look like on the way down there, mate. I'm pretty sure. Is that us on the way to the?
Here we go. There's the lads. There's the wheelman himself driving with a
There's the image
passenger.
for the SummerSlam review.
Yeah. And the two lads in the back seats along for the ride, Benno. Absolutely incredible stuff. Just amazing. I'll have to get a pair of them gloves though, won't I? Gareth's desperate for me to get a pair to travel down in.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you, mate. You sent me this earlier, and I was looking at it going, I wish Matty had waited for the live stream to reveal this wonderful artwork. And then I was just thinking to myself, Matty, I just think this is missing a little something. This graphic, It's supposed to be promoting the live show, as we
of course,
as we all roads head into our live show in London. So I had a word with the artist, the anonymous artist who put this together. Initials might be GH, and to be honest, Matty, the other thing I wasn't happy about, I don't like being backseat here, mate. So I don't know. How do you feel about this as a version instead? I think this was one that I think Gareth has put a lot of hard work into and a lot of beautiful artistry into. As I slowly build up to the reveal. Sorry, it's taking a second to load. There we go, mate. Thoughts? I think that's way better.
Well, you know what? Know what I said to Gareth to do? I purposely put you as tongue lower as well, Benno, because I know you fucking hate it.
I'm so low to go, and no way, that's not better. But I'm in the front, mate. You can't backseat me. Nobody puts baby in the backseat. Is that a quote? There you go.
That's incredible stuff, though. Gareth is always. I wish, Benno, I could actually I've got to learn how to use these fucking apps, these Photoshop apps.
They take a while sometimes, as we just
can imagine.
Almost Ruby punchline, that. Nice one, StreamYard.
But amazing, Benno. And as you say, we can't.
Can we blow that up? I want that on my wall.
Please.
The gang.
Please do.
My version, though, obviously not the Matty version. This is like What Culture with their live show. They're selling different t-shirts, aren't they, of each of them on it? We should do that as like a popularity contest. You get like, who's the tribal chief out of me, you, JP and Gareth, whichever one.
I think JP and Gareth are happy, Benno, aren't they? They're happy with their positions. It's only me and you.
To be fair, yeah, it's me and you fighting over. Well, first and last, mate.
There you go, Ben. Well, no, incredible stuff, and obviously, we can't wait to actually get down there and get it all on the go, Benno. It should be an absolutely amazing day, mate. I'm excited, nervous, but excited. That mixed nerves, that that mixed feelings you get, Benno, when you've got to do something like this. But it should be incredible, mate. Can't wait.
Always feel like that on these things, but yeah, if you haven't got your tickets, as the posters do say, final tickets remain. So get sorted. Don't want to see any of our lot of Tokyo Joshi Pro. Only messing. I think some are. Unfortunately, we've lost a couple of defectors. So make sure you get yourself there. As it's looking busy right now, and we definitely want to outdraw them lot as well. But yeah, grapple.bigcartel.com for those tickets. But yeah, unless there's anything else, Matty, we should get into what's been going on in the wrestling world, and it's a good week for a Thursday weekend show, I'd say. This week, like I say, we do these every week, but sometimes there's stuff going on later in the week, and sometimes there's things we can clean up on Spotlight. But this story is unlike any other, Matty, and I'm glad you're here to chat it with me as we have updates on the story that JP broke on the midweek news dump. You can also get on the Patreon, YouTube. Last plug. We now know that Shane McMahon has apparently issued a statement on this mystery meeting with Tony Khan. A real thing that really happened. Photo honestly included, as Shane McMahon has gone to Bully Ray of all people. That great media personality, fantastic bloke. Bully Ray, who tweeted that he just got off the phone with Shane McMahon, got the scoop and got a direct quote from him regarding the meeting. Quote being, Tony and I were connected through a mutual friend, this coming from Shane O'Mac, and we had a great meeting. We talked about many things, but mostly our shared love for the business and the rewards and challenges of working with the family. I congratulated them on a 5-year anniversary of AEW, and I look forward to how he evolves the business moving forward, says Shane O'Mac. And if you haven't seen it already, and I'm sure you have, this fucking picture, Matty, that's been doing the rounds. I cannot believe that is real. I sent that photo to Joe because I just knew he'd piss himself laughing. His initial response was, "What's that?" And then I think a few people have gone, hang on, who's that in the corner? Fucking hell, like Shane McMahon. They were Tony Khan. Firstly, do you believe the conspiracy theory that Mercedes Moné is the one who took this photo? Because she's the one
I've seen that.
For it.
That makes sense, I think, Ben.
I don't know if I believe that like they knew they were being photoed. I think they're just looking at the person walking in the door. Have you ever done that where you take like a holiday photo and you look back like weeks later and you see someone in the corner and they're looking directly at the camera and I say, well, maybe they saw me taking the photo, but it probably just caught their eyes. They were walking past. They probably weren't paying. I don't take like illicit photos of people. I promise, Matty. It's not a thing I regularly do. Not something I've got experience with. But fuck me, what a fucking fantastic photo. Tony Khan looking frazzled. Shane looking like an alpha stood on. He doesn't sit on chairs. He's like Jake in California Dreams. He props himself on them instead. You know. You can imagine he twisted that round, didn't he? Sat backwards like Jake, leather jacket on. You know. What a bloke. I can't believe this is real. Like I've got a serious podcaster reaction to it, Matty. And I've got my genuine reaction to it, which is it's hilarious. But I'll let you go first on this one because I know you were using it to wind up a few people we know.
Just mate, like JP's the one for this as well, but I'm going to try and do him justice. It's like I just want him to be on the telly, Benno. I don't care about the business side. I don't care about anything else. I just want him to turn up on AEW TV and get directly involved in these storylines. I want to see all the young bucks taking the piss. The name on the contract says McMahon. I want to see it all, Benno, just because it'll amuse me, but just for the fume at the same time. The diehard AEW fans. I've heard a couple threaten that they won't watch it again. If he turns up on TV, that's how bad it is, that they will not watch it again. They're like, what are we doing in 2024? But I just turn around and go, it's hilarious though, isn't it? And it's massive at the same time. It's just all those mixed feelings. If you don't want to see it though on telly, what's wrong with you? That's what I want. That's my thing. It's like you surely want to see him just turn up just for the reaction, just for everything, mate. I mean, come on, Ben. Surely is that your not serious answer? Is that what yours is?
It's like when they signed Jeff Jarrett, and to be fair, that is like milk. I was wrong because I was going on about that was a bad idea, despite the fact that I would obviously love to see it. This is one of them where it's like, obviously, I want to see Shane McMahon versus Darby Allin, where they have a contest who can jump the highest off the fucking roof of Wembley. I want to see Shane McMahon versus Will Ospreay. I want to see Shane McMahon versus anybody on the AEW roster. They'd all be hilarious. I love Shane McMahon. You know, he is. Again, it's a bad phrase now, but he's the cool McMahon. He always was, and I always had a soft spot for him. Right back to the X-Pac match at the start. And we still not do the Shane McMahon mixtape. I think fucking hell, now's gonna be the time, man. We'll have to sort that out. Jesus Christ. Maybe when he makes his debut on Dynamite, because again, when he makes his debut on Dynamite, if it happens, I will piss myself laughing. And there was a little part of me that was watching Dynamite last night that was sitting there going, oh, I really hope Shane McMahon comes out. Oh, I hope he comes out when Mercedes Moné kept mentioning the word money. Or I hope he's the one that comes out and goes to Bryan Danielson. No, you're not a B+ player, you're an A player. Obviously, the segment was very good, so probably good. They're
all SmackDown Live general managers together, Bryan and Shane. They go way back, mate.
But I know I'd laugh. I would have pissed myself laughing. I would. And I want to see it as a stupid Shane McMahon fanboy. But, I mean, come on. It's a terrible idea. It is. I mean, it is. I don't want to be a grown-up. But, like, if... the fact that Tony Khan's even entertaining. I mean, and this is just a meeting, you know, could have been just kicking the tires, could have just been, let's meet, let's make friends, you know. They said they got a lot in common. They do have a lot in common. Maybe Tony Khan, you know, I'm sure they speak the same language, you know, sons of rich business owners. I'm sure they got on well. Maybe Tony just wants a mate. But it'd be just be like, oh, Tony, you fucking mark. You bring it in. Shane McMahon, if you give him any creative power, we all saw what he did when he ran that Royal Rumble a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
If you... Even putting them on TV, you know, right now, while there's a very, very high profile, very serious, you know, legal matter going on that surrounds the McMahon name, no, like, I think that's another gigantic reason why you don't do it. And again, it screams like when Tony Khan took the power driver off the books, or when they showed
desperation
the
in it,
it's desperate, isn't it? It's generate a bit of buzz by any means necessary. Maybe even floated it. We got a breaking story about AEW and WBD in a minute. Maybe something you can float in front of TV executives.
I thought that as well.
McMahon, as horrible as that is, with everything going on. But I think the serious part of me has to say, come on, Tony, you can't do this. Like, that's ridiculous.
But at the same time, though, Benny, we can keep like questioning it, can't we? That is like the question. What did they say? What it was that meeting genuinely about? Because obviously Shane's only give a little tip. He's not going to give nothing away, is he? Let's be honest. But it can only be, is he going to give him some sort of like go into business with him? No, it can only be someone on TV. Benno, that's what I'm thinking. He's not going to give anyone else. So much. It's not like, years ago when Vince was going for the steroid thing and Jerry Jarrett in or something. It's not like that, is he? He's not going away anytime soon. So what can it be other than him being on TV or just making an appearance here and there? But it's great though at the same time.
You could make it clear, and I could see Tony Khan be like, I'm making it clear this man has no power. This is not a hire for backstage. This is a hire for in-ring or whatever. But still, I just don't think the time is right to do that as hilarious as I think it would be. As much as I almost want to say, I want to see the world burn, if I'm honest. Would it entertain me highly? It might have ruined Dynamite last night, so it was a bit of a boring Dynamite all told, with some good progression. There's plenty of positive I'll say as well, but it wasn't exactly a big happening Dynamite last night. Would it have been better if Shane turned up? Depends on you, the nature of how you're using the word better. Might have been more entertaining, I don't know.
But this is, I try and make sense out of my rambles here sometimes, Ben. I'll try and get to the point of what I'm saying. It ties into the Lashley thing, like I was saying on Spotlight a week ago, where, you're saying we've had Will Ospreay come in, we've had, Monet come in, we've had Okada come in, and they haven't changed the needle, have they? They haven't moved the numbers. So in my head, I know you're saying like...
Shane will.
No, but no idea. So what I'm saying is, you're saying like if they haven't and you're paying them all sorts of money and give it to that, it's like just keep trying it. And Shane is, if you're picking anyone, he could be the only one, even if it was for a week or 2 weeks, it would spike a number, Benno. And if that's what he's going for desperation or whatever it may be, I think that'll work. You know what I mean? So you might as well just keep trying, because that's what he's doing. I'm torn. I'm not this AEW fan, as a diehard. But I'm torn. I'm like you in a way. There, like, you want to see the laugh and the fume, but at the same time, it's like, for fuck's sake, Tony, it is a bit desperate. It is that. So it's just weighing it up. But I think Shane, as I say, he'll spike the numbers for at least a good couple of weeks. And if you put him in a decent storyline, then you never know. You just never know. You just never ever know.
Cash, like another grifter once said. I don't know. I don't know if all publicity is good publicity. It's a bit David Arquette to me. In some ways, it is. It's one of them. I can just picture the book, the history book, that everyone should fucking read at some point, when someone writes a story of AEW, and it's like, and you won't believe what they did. They brought Shane McMahon in. It's Shane Khan. Yeah, you could change his name there. Ben's saying, could do that.
But also, you've got to see it from, like,
lead Shane's... the young bucks, lead the elite, as the chat is saying.
That's the one, isn't it? That's the obvious one. But it's like, you've got to see it from Shane's point of view as well. Obviously, like, within more serious matters, like, does he want away from WWE to obviously go there? Do WWE not want to use him? You know what I mean? Is it leverage for, like, oh, look at me, I'm talking to AEW, so Triple H can come round and go, well, yeah, we've got a spot for you, or you know what I mean?
No, that's a good point to bring up, because that's the other side of it, obviously, at the Shane McMahon side. Why is he even willing to take these meetings? You know what I mean? Everyone always jokes about the, VOD business he tried to set up on China. They just love physical media over there, mate. Fake physical media, but physical media nonetheless. And he couldn't get it going. And, he's had all these business failings, and he's very clearly been out of favour in WWE. I thought it was dead interesting listening to Meltzer say. I don't think I'd ever heard that it was Linda who was pushing hard for him to get back into their good books. When he came back the last couple of times, apparently it was her that was just like leaning on Vince to bring back Shane and get him back in the mix. There's clearly a hard split there, because that's the other thing Meltzer's saying, like, there's no interest on the WWE side in using Shane, especially this new version of WWE. That might change now that Tony Khan's shown an interest in what they like, but up until this point, it's very clearly like just something they're not on board to do. So that's his motivation, isn't it? It's it might be to stick it to Dad, it might be to stick it to the rest of the family, it might just be to keep himself relevant, because who knows what else he's got going on. Might be even to get another point I've seen people raise. There's two lads, both play college football, don't they? They're levels,
God, yeah.
Now they're probably going to make the NFL. I think it's quite a long shot, but there's a connection there. That's probably something. So, whenever you hear Tony Khan talk about, I got on with Sting because I talked about his son. I got on with Bill Goldberg because I could talk about the NFL and his son, and all of that stuff. Like, it's kind of, there's maybe a little bit of a marriage there. So maybe that's the Shane side of it, yeah. But he probably does want to stick it to them if they're not interested in using him.
Yeah.
He's thinking, well, maybe I can offer something on the other side. I'm not sure he can, at least outside of the ring. But yeah, I think that's probably the other side of that coin, absolutely.
But yeah, I'm taking it back to non-serious again, Ben. Over flip-flopping here. It's like
We've
maybe,
got to.
I've got to. Maybe Shane just wants to get in there where the coin is, where the best wrestler, Ben. Maybe he wants to just get in there and start having these matches. You just don't know the motivation.
It was like was Radioactive Man's sidekick, and Bart thinks he's about to get cast in it, and they end up getting like some other kid. That's like Tony Khan with Will Ospreay, and he's like, got the best in the real white here, tapping Will Ospreay on his head, and then scene changes. It's Shane McMahon because that's the real best in the world. You could do that.
But it
would be entertaining. Are there any other dream matches? Just while we're joking about it, are there any? Darby, Ospreay.
Kenny Shane McMahon
is the one that wouldn't be funny. Like, name a wrestler, it'd be funny, wouldn't it? Like, up and down the roster, you know. Like, you'd all be like, fucking hell, really? MJF versus Shane McMahon. I could see MJF running like the Mean Street Posse. That would kind of fit his gimmick, wouldn't it?
That'll happen. If Shane turns up, then the Posse are definitely going to be on Dynamite.
Because we never did that, did they? When he came back, they never used the Posse. It was like, come on, they're up there. I'm sure they're willing to do it. Like, bring them in.
Or they'll be on telly first as a tease on something before he comes in. Do you know what I mean? So it's there's so much
Shane v. Saturn and Platzers
potential.
Put him on Forbidden Door and work like Zack Sabre Jr.
Orange Cassidy v. Shane. It's just bananas in it. It's just wild.
Shane v. Jeff, there you go. There's a dream match for GRAPPL. I think even Joe would come back for that podcast. That's got to be the one on it. But we'll see. But Jesus, I'm hoping we get more on this by the time we next chat to JP, because I want to get his full takes on this one as well as a fellow Shane.
But Benno, as you say, though, mate,
in the world, isn't he?
Two of your main people you don't like brought this story to the world. Conrad broke this, didn't he? He broke this about 6 weeks ago, and then Bully Ray, he almost.
I thought you were going to say
wrestler. Bully Ray is like, getting Shane's like fucking, statement out to the world. So it's just, But all I'll say, it's just wild, and I can't wait to see what happens next. That's my take on it.
There we go. Shane v. Takeshita in the chat. Shane v. Swerve. The possibilities are endless, folks. But if we get any update, I'm sure we'll be on it. But come on, Tony, be careful what you wish for. Again, and McMahon in the company as well. It feels like spy stuff, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
I don't know if I trust it. But on that note, if we're done with Shane O'Mac, I'm sure we'll be talking it plenty more. We should get out to the other news matters, as we always do here on the weekend show. And another one that's broken leg for us on a Thursday, Matty. Good timing. Vancouver is going to be the host of Survivor Series in November. War Games, Vancouver, British Columbia, which is in Canada. Well, and I've seen Steph celebrating this. They're bringing the pay-per-view to Canada for. First thing I did is go on Google Maps. You could not get a further away point in Canada. It's like literally you have to go the entire top end of America, or it's actually quicker to cut through America to end up there at Vancouver from Toronto. It is that far west. I'm learning geography as we go, but quite a shocker. People were putting 2 and 2 together, I guess, and making 5 over like the events that were around the West Coast area, because LA was heavily rumored, but we don't really know much behind how they got it. But Vancouver, British Columbia is the home of Survivor Series War Games, Matty, as we inch ever closer to the Bloodline Civil War coming to a head in chapter 2 of a 20-chapter novel.
No, as you say, but they would have given a fair whack, wouldn't they? If Vancouver would have sorted it out, because we've got another news story about money getting handed over in a bit, haven't we? But I just can't wait, Benno. Like, it's what are we? Beginning of August. I've still got 1, 2, 3, 4 months, 4 full months as well, because this is November the 30th, Thanksgiving weekend. This edition actually on the weekend this year. So looking forward to that. I just want to see it, Ben. I just want to see the face-offs before the match in the cages, the bloodline.
What I want to see. What I want to see, mate, I want to see your face when I was already looking at going to Toronto.
I know you're going to go. First thing I thought of, Ben. Fuck off.
Imagine I'm there.
I might call Audible to join you, though, Ben. I'll have to see if it's happening.
Wow.
I might call
Change the date of your trip.
Oh, mate.
I assume it's freezing, though. It's going to be freezing. It's right next to Calgary in November.
Fucking Baltic, mate.
If anybody knows, tell us what the average temperature is. That might be the deciding factor.
Be hot in that arena, though, Ben.
I never mean it when I moan about heat. It's just an uncomfortable thing. But I really do like hot weather. I just want to be outside rather than inside. Cold weather, depends. I've done Poland in December though, and that was pretty cold. But I imagine this will be This would be lots worse, but yeah, there we go. Yeah, Platt says, yeah, probably goes to Toronto if they ran it here, honestly.
Yeah.
It's a 4-hour flight and it's a 5-hour flight home. So
Bloody
yeah, there
hell.
you go. But it's Canada, so a win for our Canadian friends there. And yeah, to skip through the other news notes, yeah, Las Vegas, speaking of Canadian friends, post-wrestling with the Scoop and WrestleNomics, obviously, yeah, they've apparently paid a $5 million site fee for WrestleMania, which they go into the ins and outs of the reasoning and how it happened and how it ended up at Las Vegas. I think they just play. It's probably got echoes of this Wembley story and this UK WrestleMania story, and that, like, you know, there's clearly been a bit of bargaining and going back and forth and trying to get like the best number out of different states. But yeah, once that throw in that as a quick plug and as a news story as well. But yeah, apparently $5 million was the site fee that they got for WrestleMania in Vegas. Big money there. They got to throw around in Vegas. Actually, shocked me. It's quite low for a Vegas number.
Yeah, well, as you say,
Yeah,
they've got it to go around, but that's what they're doing. Like, I know you and JP spoke about it on Spotlight about the Wembley trip with Nick Khan and Triple H, but that's what they're doing, Ben. They've been doing it. That's their MO at the minute, isn't it? Under this new regime, just going all over the place, all around the world, and just taking the biggest checks that they get. So it's, as JP says, like, and he's not a fan of it, is he? You've got to commend them on that, of being an actual business and doing it the right way in that regard. Like, so yeah, it's going to continue.
Yeah, continuing the WWE news, they've announced a partnership with Wingstop, of all things.
And I bet you chedded. You seen that?
It's going to be on the ring canvas, mate. I think I like WWE over AEW now. I think it's the better promotion, and they put on better matches. They tell stories, mate. That's the difference between WWE and AEW, in my opinion. But yeah, with Wingstop, apparently they got the roster doing appearances at local Wingstops and such. You a fan of the mango habanero, mate, or any of the Wingstop? Did you have it when you were in London, in fact, or it was in Nottingham when we were on your stag? But we don't think we got it there.
Is that the one? I went to one in New York, Ben. Or was that not Wing Shack though? I'm not sure. I got the lemon pepper ones. Wherever I go anyway, I always get lemon pepper on my chicken. That's my favourite flavour, my favourite rub. That's my absolute. But Ben, it's going to either cut back to someone backstage in an angle with a big load of wings in it, or Cole and McAfee are going to be having them on the announce table. You'll be eyeing them up.
I said it to Hamlet today. They send me free wings. I'll watch NXT every week. That's my price. Just once a week. That's all I want. I don't even want like lifetime KFC. Like I think I Speed got that. Didn't he this week? Or Connor with his Greg's gift card that he's just run out of. Just give me one a week. I'll take it. But yeah, in other WWE corporate news, more serious matters. WWE's head of communications, LeGentle, who you've got to shake your fist when you say that name, Chris LeGentle, did an interview with Richard Deitch on the Sports Media podcast. Talked to a few different things. Another news story we've got in a little bit. Did note that the company had been compliant all the way along and all the way through with active legal situations. That was his corporate speak response to what WWE were currently, where they were with the current legal General Grant case that they're obviously at a named party in. He was also asked about the potential of a co-promoted show with AEW, and did say there was no interest. I believe the full coat expanded on saying there's a lot of great talent outside of WWE, but there's no shot being fired, but they haven't had a conversation about it to shoot that one down. One of those news stories, really, that only came up because Tony Khan was, asked the question and he gave you an answer, didn't he? Like, yeah, that'd be cool. Probably won't happen, but that'd be cool. I think we all agree that'd be cool, but probably won't happen. Doesn't shock me that's WWE's response.
Never happened in a million years, will it, Benno? Like that. That's just one of them fantasy things that, as I say, will never ever happen. Well, I've said it now, haven't I? So, but I'll put my neck on the line there and say that. But yeah.
Not happening. And yeah, interesting to get like a WWE representative, like at least on the record about the new case. And again, obviously, Richard Deitch is gigantic compared to everybody in wrestling media, but you get somebody from WWE in front of you, you've got to ask those questions, and I'm glad the question was asked, at least, even if we did get a bit of a non-answer there. And then finally from the WWE side, but it's kind of an AEW story as well. CM Punk was asked this week as well. about the all-in footage being shown. And this is on the SI Media podcast and promoting the Drew match that we're going to talk about in a little bit. He said, I don't root against them. It's easy to be able to say, I can't wait till something bad happens to them. He definitely thinks that. But there's a lot of people backstage there in a paycheck. He still has friends there. I don't think Dax and Cash are in that group of friends, Matty. I'm starting that conspiracy. I'm saying I think Robert started that conspiracy. And
I was going to say, you're pushing that one hard then on every show. No,
you never see it, do you? It's gone quiet.
No.
Completely quiet.
Something's happened there, I agree.
Posting with Darby, and he posting with Brody, but yeah, no, nothing with Dax and Cash, eh? Strange. Love falling out with people, doesn't he, Punk? But yeah, the bigger point was about the footage, and he was asked about that, and he brought up that he felt like by playing it, he thought it was kind of gross, but at the same time, it felt really ugly is the exact word he used. He was just like, why? Showing the footage isn't going to help them or hurt me. But being the top drawer in two companies.
What a line. Got to give him that. Got to give him that.
Thanks,
what a
guys.
line.
Jericho's ruined. Thanks, guys, for us all. But I thought that was a good way to end the quote.
Yeah, he loves that, Phil. I had a little chuckle reading that, and it was good to see him as well. Benno, he's been doing the rounds as well. He's been on the Ringside Collectibles. He's on the Comic-Con panel, weren't he, and doing a few interviews with them as well. So he's keeping his face out there. He loves it, doesn't he? He absolutely loves it, mate.
He's out there. His burner account on Twitter he's got.
Yeah.
He's following us all. He watches all these videos. Hope you enjoy the weekend show this week, Phil. I'm sure he will. I'll hear about it if he does. But anyway, that's Phil. He can never keep out of it. On the AEW side, we don't have a lot of news as far as stuff. It is very much a WWE dominated weekend with the big pay-per-view coming up. Although Sean Ross Sapp is just breaking at the minute on Twitter. I don't believe we have any further detail at the minute, but let us know, chat. Apparently AEW and WBD's exclusive negotiating window has ended. One of the Discovery sources have told Fightful Select. So obviously Sean's going to expand on that on Fightful Select, and within about 5 seconds it'll be copy and pasted to Twitter by the various accounts as tends to happen. But yeah, negotiation window is over. I don't know whether that necessarily means anything or not. Like a while back we would have all said, it's one of those things where we would have thought, well, it's going out to other places then. Maybe it's on the table for them to go elsewhere. Reading between the lines and a lot of Tony's comments recently, I think it's more a case of they're going to just wait and see what happens with this NBA thing. They're going to wait and see, to get the right deal from WBD. I don't think they're actually going to shop it out elsewhere. I think they're just going to extend the time on this. But it's a story that's going to drag out forever. It seems like, and it'd be great to see the end of it. But yeah, possibly an important note there. I can't imagine you got much more to add to it. When they get their millions, Matty, what should they do with it? It's going to be. I'll give that to you, mate. You're not like the WWE grifters, like the Bully Rays and the Eric Bischoff's going to have to delete a lot of YouTube posts once this happens. Once the deal goes through, even if they only get like 100 million or something, which is obviously not going to happen. It's going to be lots more than that. AEW's going to be in business for a very, very, very long time.
This is it,
and presumably it's coming soon now. The window's closed, but I don't see it being shopped elsewhere unless there's a strange turn of events.
All that, like it's going out of business. It'll never go out of business. We've said this on other things. Even if they didn't get TV, Khan would find a way to keep it going because he's just that way inclined. But obviously, yeah, of course, if you think so, yeah. But this getting the TV deal is going to happen regardless. As you say, regardless of the actual figure itself, it's going to happen, and they're going to be around for a long time. People like that, like Bischoff, you just need to just jack it in with stupid shouts like that. Like it's not going nowhere.
D-Day is coming. D-Day is coming for the grifters of the world on that. But yeah, that pretty much brings us to the end of the news today, and that takes us into nicely before we get into the WWE pay-per-view at the weekend, which is the big show of the weekend. Got to talk some AEW television from last night, as it is at a Thursday weekend show again. Very timely this week, Sunday for the SummerSlam review, day after for the Dynamite review. And yeah, as I said earlier, I thought this week's Dynamite was pretty good. Functional is the word. It was one of those Dynamites where on paper, it absolutely had a lot of the things that I think a Dynamite should have, which is it had a great match in the main event. It had a great match as an opener, in fact. It was bookended by 2 great matches and a lot of the great Dynamites of all time. You could say that of. I think every one of, or at least 3 of the 4 big feuds going into All In had important developments in. One a lot better than the other 2. maybe not even important developments, and you know when you're 3 to 4 weeks out of the pay-per-view, you should be doing that. So as a box ticking exercise, it had a lot of the things I'd want out of a TV show. But I think Chris Elliott has kind of summed up my thoughts in the chat there, is that it did all, both things can be true, I think. It still felt a bit meh. It felt a bit plodding. It felt a bit, oh, we are a way off from the pay-per-view. I suppose it's the negative, isn't it, of like getting your ducks in a row and making it so that you can, you know, you're giving yourself a few weeks to build. We've seen it happen with a few times with AEW where when they have, like Revolution last year, they have got to the point of, you know, we know the pay-per-view main event 6 weeks out. They then 2 or 3 weeks before the pay-per-view happens, a bit like Drew and Punk over on the other channel, you can run out of steam a little bit, or you can have, I suppose more in this case, weeks where you don't have the best ideas in the world to lumble things along. And yeah, I felt like it was a little bit like a couple of these 1 step forward, 2 step back, but again, I can't actually say on paper it's not something that was overall well booked.
Well, I'll be honest, I only seen the talking segments on this show, Benno. Like, you allude to that any week, that I suppose. But you allude to Drew and Punk, didn't you? And I don't want to shit on, because I don't think I give me thoughts on the Mariah May Tony Storm angle on here on this network, maybe Twitter. What an angle that was. I know it's weeks old, but what an incredible angle. But in a way, that kind of peaked too early, didn't it? And I'm not shitting on that at all because it was so good. But it's like, what do you do after that? You have the run in where she confronts it again. We're still 4 weeks away. 3 Dynamites away. You've got to fill airtime.
They almost like, they're like, shit, we're organised. What do we do? We used to be in panicked. Yeah, that one was, I didn't plan on starting with it, but let's start with it. Like Tony, that was a great example of like one off of it was fantastic. I thought Mariah's sit down.
Unbelievable.
That should have been the follow-up to the angle.
That should have been. That's the first thing I thought.
The follow-up to the angle was ridiculous. It dressed up like Tony Storm. It just didn't work. I think this was a recognising them knowing it didn't work.
She was so good.
To the point where Renee literally might as well have turned to the camera and gone, "Yeah, that last one didn't work, lads. So what we're going to do is we're just going to do it again. And we're just going to ask you directly, can you actually explain a bit better, please?" She literally said that. Can you explain a bit more, please? And she did. And it was really good. She came across sinister. She's not a great natural promo, so it was done in a way that was like, you know, clearly edited, but you know, the way you should do it, rather than giving her a live mic and sticking her in the ring and letting her sink or swim, they had her, you know, properly, you know, sit down and do it and probably re-record it and get it right. And she came across like a psycho. She came across like, you know, wants to get into her skin. Basically wants to become again, one of my favorite stories I always used to book in EWR, like the Stalker, the Mickey James angle. It had elements of that.
Single white female in it, the film. That's what it is. Yeah.
Maybe not she was brilliant. The segment was brilliant. Really well done. Then Tony Storm appears on screen, screaming like a banshee and doing, what's the reference? Somebody tell me in the chat. Some reference to some other different fucking old black and white film. And it completely brought me down again. It was like, oh, lads, you had me. You've had too much time to think about it. And I love the phrase, Rich Fallon's the first person I ever heard say it, you put a hat in a hat there, lads. You had it. It was done. You could have done the Tony Storm segment next week and done a better one. Instead, she just wanders out from backstage and, oh, what was that?
It's you've committed that, or she's committed to the character though, Ben. So you can't even get I don't think she'll ever break really this character in this feud. Is she to like be like old? So you've got to go in ways like that. And I'm overall still like positive on the character, but as you say, you're going to get weeks like this where it doesn't really land when it's needed to be a bit more. You know what I mean? So
this is where you drop the character though, isn't it? And it's
but this is it. But
business.
Yeah,
they lean more into it. It's like the two split parts of creative, and it's like, oh, you know, we've come up with all these great wacky ideas, whether it's RJ City or whatever, and we've got to do that. We've got to reference another film. It was better the way it was. She didn't look good. Didn't sound good. It wasn't a good moment for her. But overall, still a big feud. You know, fucking loads
big match. Big match.
The positive is loads more time to do more segments, more like what we got in the first half and the second half. But I should go to what we were going to leave with, and I thought the overwhelming, most positive segments on Dynamite. I've got mixed feelings on coming out of it. But as a segment, I thought it was fantastic. Bryan Danielson and Swerve Strickland. I joked earlier, I half wanted Shane McMahon to come out and do the B+ play line, but obviously he shouldn't. This made it feel like the main event of Wembley. They've still got a way to go to make us all, and I think the positive of this line they're going with is going to make people more invested in it on the night. It's fucking Bryan Danielson putting his career on the line. No matter, even if they fuck it for the next 3 weeks, we're all going to be in Wembley being like, if Bryan loses here, he's going to retire. People are going to be into that. People are going to be massively into that. They've learned Sting was one of the best things they ever did in January, and they're like, fuck it, let's do it again. But this time we'll add some stakes, and we'll either leave it a little bit more drama, and we'll do that. And I thought, firstly, before we get to like, you know, what the step means, his execution was brilliant. Like, he is a great promo, Bryan Danielson. I don't think you push back on me on this one with him, but he is. He always has been. Always been charismatic, just not in the way that, you know, people maybe want wrestlers to be charismatic in the 2000s. He was always a good enough promo. He's a great promo, I would say, in wrestling. He's just a great performer all around, and he can give you this when he's motivated and he has the material. I would have loved more of this during his, you know, his main AEW run. It's a little where I've got a little bit of like conflicting thoughts. Is it's very much counter to everything he's ever said, which is, I don't want to be the world champion. I can't be asked. Maybe that's me reading too many real life interviews, but you do.
I've said it all along, Benno.
You always got that vibe, but you got that vibe from him as well, where it was like, I can't be asked. It was never that important to him, so it's a hard thing for them to switch and be like, no, this is serious now. I really want it. But in execution, I feel like they did it. There was an execution. Swerve was great. This was a tough role for him to play because he's kind of got to be heel by default in this. He leaned a little bit on like his maniacal laugh, kind of Mercedes Moné thing that she does as well in the segment, which I didn't love. But overall, I thought his material was good. I thought he handled himself well in it, and it felt like, you know, he held his own too. And this felt like a great angle for a great world title match. But yeah, what did you make of the angle, Matty? And then we'll get into what we think the stip actually means long term.
Yeah, well, I thought, like, without jumping ahead there, it needed this, I think, because like you were saying there, where you're seeing people saying on Twitter, all right, it's going to be a good match, but we need more than that for the main event of Wembley Stadium for the title. We needed just a bit more, 2 baby faces, you know, on paper, wasn't it, going at it as well? So I think this heated it up brilliantly, and it was much, much needed. And Bryan, I agree with you, but I've never said that about him. I mightn't be the best... biggest fan of him, but overall, you know, he's always been good on the mic, charismatic. He's always been a bit of a, you know, safe, solid all-rounder for me, and that might be a bit people might want to hear that word, safe, with Daniel Bryan, but you know, he's always
solid
been
all-rounder.
Yeah, solid all-rounder.
That's just damning with Frank Fraser, one of the best wrestlers of all time. Solid
all-rounder. You know, I'm not into him.
Journeyman, anything, you know. Talking about like he's a great defensive midfielder from the 90s.
Nowhere near the top.
Does you a job,
time,
you know.
But you know, fair play. We've all got our opinions. That's why we love it. I'll say that. That's why I love the business. But
if you disagree,
like I keep saying, this is, as I say, Ben. We need to. I can't help myself but wanting to dive into the what the stiff means, because I said the other week, for me all along, Daniel Bryan was never going to lose this main event at Wembley Stadium. Sorry, Bryan Danielson. He was never going to lose this match against Swerve Strickland. I've never bought into the bollocks of Bryan on these interviews. I've never. He might be a nice man or whatever, but I've never bought into this bollocks that I'll go and wrestle him for free. I'll go and do this. Never bought all that, and I don't want to be the world champion. Why don't you? Should be. You're a big star. Everyone knows you. You're known worldwide. Lean into it. All this being too nice and all that. Benno, he should be the world champion. And that's a thing that even I'm saying. He should be one of the faces of AEW. I'm sure the AEW diehards all agree. He shouldn't be in the Blackpool. I feel like I'm new here, Ben, but he shouldn't be in the Blackpool Combat Club hidden away in multi-mans. He should be having, I know he's gone around fighting Blue Panther and all that, but he should be on AEW telly having these big matches. Fuck's sake. And for me, and I'm glad I'm there now for this, because I can't wait to see this match. It's going to be
crying with everyone else.
It's going to be dramatic, and it's what's needed, Benno. And he's going to win the world title. And now this has just confirmed it to me, because he's. But at the same time, he's 90% confirmed, because at the same time, you could maybe that little thing is, if it was his last match at Wembley Stadium in a main event, would he be happy with that? Anyone probably would be, but I just can't see it. The 90% is going to be he's going to win the world title, and what everyone wants to see, and he's led, you know, all his fans want to see this last run as world champion, and then he retires when he loses the title. It's a good story, Benno. It is. Even I can't deny that. It's a good story.
Where I'm conflicted on it is like, again, I think I'm overall positive on it. I think it gives it stakes, and I suppose the confliction is part of the stakes, because I'm like, you know, he's talked a big game, hasn't he, about how, you know, this is my last year, and then he clarifies and goes, well, it's my last full-time year, and it's like, well, actually, will we wrestling? It's like there's a lot of qualifiers on this, but he's made it public enough already. And it's like, is that a negative or a positive to this story? Does it make it more or less believable? So I wish he hadn't done that. So this kind of came a little bit more out of nowhere. I suppose the fact that he has done that makes it more believable that I suppose he could lose. He could lose. He could have changed his mind. And it is just over after this, and he's realised that. It could be the case though, couldn't it? He's been told by the doctors that he's, he can't wrestle much longer because of the neck. Like, they're literally not the storyline, work, shoot. It doesn't look like he's going to wrestle before the match now, so they're going to be selling that, aren't they? That he's been told by the doctors that if he's going to have this Wembley match, he can't wrestle before that. That gives you some plausible deniability that maybe there's a physical problem that means he is done. And he's going to lose the Swerve. So I give it more doubt than I do like the fact. I'm talking myself into it here.
And that's the best thing that the match can do.
Which is funny because my initial reaction was, oh, that's ruined it. Swerve's going to lose. And now I'm thinking about Swerve losing and going, oh, is it the right time or isn't it? But actually,
that's the best thing the match can do.
You could make an argument there. Absolutely. It's giving it stakes. It's giving it, whatever other word you want to use. It's made it feel important, hasn't it?
Any match, Ben, and I'm 90-10, and probably when I'm there when the bell rings in the build, that might be 65-35, and that's the best thing, and it's something that I usually wouldn't be invested in. But fucking hell, I'll be there, and I'll be absolutely along for the ride with it. So that's the best piece of credit I can give it. That it's going, as you say, all these next weeks and whatever they do on TV with the angles and whatever other little stuff gets leaked from doctors or whatever, it's going to play into your brain of what that finish is going to be, and that's the best thing a match can do.
We're all going to be massively invested on the night. Again, a few more weeks to make it just drum home how important that is. Maybe it hits Bryan now how serious it is, that I'd have to retire and give up what I love. And they make it, that part of the story as well. He's going to be wrestling Jeff Jarrett next week. I was wishing for that on Spotlight. I can't wait next week. That's one for the sickos. Like, what a styles clash.
Yeah, nobody is wrestling. That's what I mean. So you're saying they're not letting him wrestle. Yeah, He's wrestling, so there you go. So it's all these works.
Safe with Jeff, though. Safe hands with Jeff.
Yeah, safe as ours. Safe as ours.
That the guitar shot's not exactly going to put you out, is it? At the same time,
he won't take that. If it's someone else, a heel that runs in, that's taking that, and they'll shake hands and hug, and he'll give him his endorsements, and it's fair play. Like, it's gonna be. I think it needed this. It needed it. It did. Yeah, 100%. And I'm glad it did.
Yeah, there we go. So yeah, I think I was mixed on it in the night, but I think I'm overall positive on it now. But yeah, great segment all in all. We'll see how they follow up with all the stuff on Dynamite. Obviously, yeah, you didn't see
Go on, say it.
What?
Can we just say MJF's name? No, just get it out, please. Come on. I want to hear your weekly thoughts on MJF. Sorry, I'm jumping ahead.
Ospreay Archer was a good match. Let me just get that out first. Ospreay gave Archer too much, like he normally does, but Archer looked incredible, and Tony Khan will forget about him now until middle of 2025, and we'll get him back on Dynamite, won't we? He'll turn up in New Japan, and it'll be like, I've been wasting away on the shelf as he powerbombs some fucking young boys. You know what's coming, and it's a shame because he's got something to offer, Archer. I think if he used him a bit more regularly, but yeah, really good match, great opener, exactly what I want out of a TV match. There was maybe they did. I was worried they were going to go really extensive with the kickouts, but it was overall fine. Consider Archer's a big man, it protected him. And Ospreay, maybe even slightly too much, but not far too much. So yeah, what I want out of a TV match, just 10 to 15 minutes, a lot of fun. What I don't want out of a TV angle is MJF coming out afterwards. I don't know. He's got his defenders, so don't be afraid, folks. Let us push back, because I know people don't like it, or all don't like it when we lay into MJF. But again, I just can't help but look at him and just like, why did you say yes to everything he asked for, Tony? Like, why did you say yes to this entire story? Because now...
America, what's going on?
In Trump America. Like, when Trump's like, he's not the favourite anymore, but he was the favourite going into this, as far as like winning the next election. And, half the fucking country, or at least half the voting public, JP will always correct me on, we're going to vote for him. This segment just summed it up, didn't it? Because it was just, there are Americans who are going to try and check USA and get behind MJF. We're not sitting here seething going, oh, fucking Americans. If anything, as me, you, and Hamlet are proof of, we've been indoctrinated by American fucking stuff our entire lives. So we think America's boss in a lot of ways. You might pull something out of us, but overall, people are just rolling their eyes at like a, jingoistic fucking, USA versus America thing. Oh, come on, the Brits. Oh, they mentioned the Civil War or whatever the fuck. Independence and all that. Like, we don't care. We don't care. It reminded me of Vincent Regal, didn't it, on the the Invasion pay-per-view.
Yeah.
There's a similar line in there. Maybe that's where we're borrowing it. Maybe
At least that
MJF
was
is a
23 years ago. That was outdated then. It's like, what the fuck? What are we doing?
But it sets things up the wrong way, doesn't it? Now, because like we were all going to cheer for Ospreay to beat MJF, no matter what. That was happening in the UK. So now, to like make sure that happens, that you didn't need to do, we're gonna have 3 weeks of awkward exchanges where, you know, Ospreay's the British fella, Kyle Fletcher who appeared out of fucking nowhere, looking like the rapper or the singer who sang Bryan Danielson at that one time. I'm gonna go all in. Look like him with his fucking blonde hair, like him coming out and being all, oh, we're gonna fight you. You're evil. These people shouldn't believe you. It's just a mess now, and everyone sat there like, I'm not sure how to reply to this. Do I cheer the Brit? Do I cheer the Aussie? Do I cheer the clearly ironic American heel? What do I do? So it's just kind of made, this is one where I'm like, shit, what are they going to do for the next 3 weeks except this shite? Really didn't like it, unfortunately. And, you know, I'm a backer of the match. I think it's two of your big stars facing each other, which should happen in your version of WrestleMania. But, these MJF ideas, mate.
Yeah, as you say, Benno, he just needs reining in a bit, doesn't he? And I'm one of them MJF. I don't mind him. You know what I mean? I don't hate him as much as like you guys do. But this he's just clinging again. He seems to just be clinging to this game, and I just don't think it suits him at all. Like at all, though. I'd rather him just come out as what people didn't like, the old MJF kind of thing, and just stuck to that. But this layer of this American, I'm just not into it at all. As you say. And I say, we don't give a shit about like UK, but you know, he was going to get cheered, Ospreay, you know what I mean? Last year proved that. He was one of the most over people on the night, winning in a full stadium as well. He was fucking over like a rover. He's going to be the same again. And the match itself, Ben, I'm with you. Big match for Wembley. It's going to be good again. The only thing is, my thing is, if we're looking into it logically, is like, we had the hour match. It's going to go at least 40 minutes in it. It's got to. It can't just end after like 22 minutes, I don't think. It's got to go long, Ben, for me.
You do a Punk Joe 3 and like make people expect that and then not do it.
Okay.
Maybe do that instead. But I don't know. But yeah, really bad material. Yeah, Andy Austin says here, you know, couldn't be three less likable people on the mic. Like, how many people? And I really like Ospreay and I like Kyle Fletcher, but how many people in that audience do you think you would straw poll if you asked them before they got there? Who's that? Do you think they knew like, who Kyle Fletcher is? He's just not. He's been in the background. This is a story they've been telling in the background of Kyle being more loyal to Ospreay than not. But it's, you know, it's hard for somebody like that to get space, isn't it? In such a flooded roster, get investment, get eyeballs on, get people to realise who it was. I guess more people know who he is coming out of the angle. But I saw people praise it and say, where was this Kyle Fletcher? He's fantastic here. Like baby's first promo on it. Like, I know you've got to cut these promos to maybe get good at it one day. See, Ospreay will. But it was a bit amateur hour for me. And yeah, it'll be a good spot for him next week. It'll probably be a good match with MJF.
Yeah.
But again, bit try hard and not the best material and not the best delivery from Kyle either. But it's not his strong point.
No, it's not. And as we say, like Ospreay, like, you know, we've all been in agreement. Like, he's the one who, when I thought he'd come into the AEW, he wouldn't be the like great on the mic, but he's got this, like, I know I'm going against what I say, but he's got this brick guy on the mic in America over, hasn't he? Yeah, we just don't need that. Like, you honestly, I keep going back to that. We just
don't need Fletcher here. Andy's saying here, we don't Carlos knocking around. Jesus, right?
Like a bad smell.
I hope it was kayfabe and that story was over. I really did. And no, we're telling it, aren't we? We're telling it. We're going to get there. And we're all going to be shocked when Dan Carlos turns on Ospreay. Oh my God.
Yeah,
like, we're past the point. There's unpredictable, which is good. There's predictable, which can sometimes be good. And there's overly predictable, which is always bad. And that's this. Like, come on. Let's just get there. It's just a painful road to get there. MJF, the edgy fucker as well, bringing up Daniel Garcia. Oh, yeah. Quick one. Is he better than NXT or AEW? Me and JP got a bit of pushback for
yeah, I see
thinking
that.
He might go NXT.
Well,
I will clarify. I think stylistically and for my entertainment, I'd rather be on AEW. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not watching NXT for Daniel Garcia. But it's been proven that AEW just don't know how to use Daniel Garcia. I was going to say it changing. I'm not saying NXT is a guarantee. If anything, there's as good a chance it'll go wrong as go well. But if I'm in his shoes, I wonder if I might just try it and think and just maybe, you know, hitch your wagon to that idea that WWE are willing to push anybody if it makes AEW look bad, and hope that like the spite push gets you over. Steph said that, you know, NXT they present it as young brand as well. That's that positive.
Exactly. Like they've done fuck all of them in AEW, haven't they? So why not if he went to NXT and give it a go and see what happens? As you say there, even in the spike battle, they just push him, wouldn't they? And he can just and see what
I don't know why I'm
do.
so certain of it, but I really think they would give it a go. Even if
Yeah.
stylistically it's a weird match, even if that show stinks, even if he might get a really bad character, I think he might get to a better point in the card than he will in AEW. But
and if he's this great wrestler people go on about, he'll lift up NXT, won't he? With him being that great wrestler, so you know. Fair play.
I don't know about that, mate. I don't remember the last time I saw a good match on NXT. But anyway, that's just me. I'm an NXT hater. But there we go. That was referenced as well in that segment. So we talked Tony Mariah. Darby Hangman was a good main event. It was a match I wanted to see. I think that was thrown out there as like, you know, we're in a situation we're up against the Olympics. We want a good number. What's a good match that we're not planning on doing?
First time ever as well, weren't it?
The negative is I wanted to see Darby and Hangman, but I was watching it going, I wish I was watching this in a situation where it was a year down the line and I can't wait for Darby to get his hands on Hangman and it's a more significant match. But I can't knock them for delivering a match. There's too many matches that do get left on the table and they have no creative plans for this over the next 18 months, then okay. Good match. Just felt a bit like missing something at the end. Darby going over was interesting. I guess that'll play into the longer term Hangman story, but it felt like we were missing a chapter here. There were a couple of people, you know, don't even need to go into it in full detail, but Britt Baker not being there, and you know, in this case, the Bucks and Okada not being there to do something at the end with Hangman, which is presumably the match going forward. Just meant we just didn't really get anything of consequence with it. I guess that'll come next week, but good match to end the show. Don't know if you saw anything else from the show.
No, didn't see anything else, Ben. But is that going to be the rumor of the match? Is it Okada v Hangman? Because you said
we've all just surmised it. We've all just guessed from the way they looked at each other in Rings and Guts and stuff.
Because if FTR books is your match where you're at the bar and on the I'm at the bar,
mate. They're going to be in it now based on the program on Dynamite.
Well, I'm fucking if it Okada v Hangman happens, mate, I'm going directly to the bar. Fucking hell, mate. I can't be arsed watching that.
If we get to the 40-minute match, I might, but I don't know. Feels a bit like, considering how over it's a controversial thing, how over Okada isn't yet in AEW. Yeah. Feels actually quite a big match for him.
That's what I mean.
Sense, but
going on past glories, though, aren't you?
It's not a bad match for third from the top or whatever, fourth from the top. Even it ends up being it's a big singles match for a big singles star and Hangman. So I do hope that's the direction. But yeah, outside of that, not really have many other big takes on Dynamite, but yeah, we should look into the weekend coming up. AEW, obviously, that's not just Dynamite. They taped Rampage in South Carolina. No spoilers, because I know we got some Rampage sickos in the chat. But Wheeler Yuta faced the Butcher, Brian Cage versus Manny Lowe, Nyla Rose versus Harley Cameron, Brian Keith against Jackson Drake. Oh yeah, they did an angle with them, didn't they, on Dynamite as well. Less said about that, the better. Private Party versus the MXM Collection. So Mason Mansour being exclusive to ROH lasted long. And Collision we also have coming up on Saturday. This is from Arlington, Texas. We have the Beast Mortos and the Undisputed Kingdom against Darby Allin and FTR and Mark Briscoe, which was set up in that fun little 6-man match they had on Dynamite too. Mark Briscoe's my MVP of AEW this last month or so. He's added life to everything he's done. He probably will there as well. And hey, Beast Mortos, our boy too. So
yeah, always good to see him. And when AEW put these multi-mans on, though, Benno, I do like to. I enjoyed watching them, so I might give that one a go. That 8-man, because that'll just be wild, won't it? It'll just break down all the moves, all the spots, right up my street. That.
I had ROH listed next, Matty, but I literally scoured the internet and could not find the card for tonight. Like, nobody had it. The official ROH site didn't have it. Maybe it's there now. I don't know. I'm not looking. They've had the time. Couldn't find any other websites with it. So ROH is on, folks. That's all I can tell you.
Tony Khan's writing it as we speak, Benno. Literally now. He's literally writing it. Putting it together.
I think it's been taped. I just don't think people can. To tell you what's on it. But anyway, Impact. Also going on, Matty. Over to you.
Yeah, Impact tonight, Benno. We've got the wedding, which I might have to tune into this. We've got multi-mans and weddings. That's why I'm there in the business. It's the wedding of PCO and Steph Delander after we proposed at the pay-per-view, wasn't it? Yeah, God knows, Benno. I'm assuming it's going to be some sort of turn. It can't just go on. Where's Ewan in the chat when we need him? Confirm this to us, Ewan, please, mate. We've got a 6-man tag. We've got the Rascals of Wesley, Zachary Wentz and Say Miguel going up against Mike Bailey, Trent Seven and Kushida. We've got your man, Ryan Nemeth, up against Frankie Kazarian. I mean, what are we doing, Benno? What are we doing with that singles match? It's just fucking...
I saw Vinny on Brian and Vinny be like, yeah, they had that big pay-per-view, didn't they? And it was like, oh, for 4,000 people. And they just followed it up with more slop. Two steps forward, one step back. Well,
always. And we've got Jody Fret against Masha Slamovich. And I'm wishing JP was here, because we always say if an apocalypse happened, there'd be cockroaches, and Rosemary would be in TNA as she returns to the ring. Another time in TNA. I mean, God bless her. How many returns does she have, Benno? She must be the longest serving Impact roster member of all
You don't get
time.
runs in Impact. You get comebacks like P.T. Williams and Eric Young. You get that big comeback pop. It's like you've had more comebacks than you have matches in your main career now. Come on, Elix Skipper, he was the original, wasn't he? Jesus.
And also in the main event, though, Benno, in a big match, we've got Nick Nemeth against Mustafa Ali for the TNA World Championship. So I mean, does that whet your appetite, that one, Benno?
No. What else is going on?
We've also got, Benno, we've got SmackDown, your show, your favourite show and mine. We've got SmackDown coming up tomorrow night, and we've got 2 big tag team title matches. For the women's tag team title, we've got the unholy union of Alba Fire and Isla Dawn going up against Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. I'm expecting either the titles to change back to Bianca and Jade or a turn by Jade, but I think that they're going to win the titles back here. And for the men's,
bless Isla Dawn, by the way, to be in the one to actually say something about Logan Paul's shitty comments that are all over Twitter right now. Hard to do that in a company like that. So God bless her. Sorry, off topic.
Also for the men's tag team titles, we've got DIY of Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa about to lose the tag team titles to the combination of Tama Tonga and Jacob Fatu. Come on, let's bring the titles home, Benno, to the Bloodline. Let's start this weekend off right. Let's start it off right.
How fucking funny is it, though, that Jacob and Tama are the tag team? Like,
oh, of course, don't they know?
That's just not the one. It's like when they split the Shield up, and it was like, oh, it'll be the tag team. It'll be fucking Roman and fucking and Seth. Everyone thought it'd be the other way around, didn't they?
Yeah.
They've done that, but mainly because Tangaloa fucking stinks. Yeah, they should probably put the belts on him. I mean,
they will.
DIY had their nice little moments.
Yeah,
you need to keep the belts on them, do you?
You need to progress the stories, Benno, and get the Bloodline.
Some nice kind of, I'd say discipline and not putting that on the pay-per-view and doing it. Did the same thing. Obviously, it was the same thing running into Money in the Bank, wasn't it? When DIY run the tag team belts, but you got an extra match. Tony Khan, put it on Dynamite, mate, the week before. Put it on Collision, sell that. You don't have to have 50 matches on the pay-per-view, and we're going to get into it. SummerSlam is also, not lacking for matches either. It's not like it's another one of those 4-match cards. But yeah, like that.
Yeah, good stuff, Ben. And you just mentioned it then. We'll dive right into the big event of the weekend, the biggest event of the summer. It's WWE SummerSlam from the Cleveland Browns Stadium, Saturday night, August 3rd, Benno. And we've got 7 matches, as you say, 6 title matches and 1 very special grudge match. And we will start off with that special grudge match with special referee Seth Rollins. It's CM Punk. Finally, after 7 months of build,
made a mistake here putting that first, mate. Oh, good.
Up against Drew McIntyre. 10 years away, singles match for CM Punk, and 7 months in the making, this feud, Benno. And I will say on this, I agree with all the takes I've seen. It peaked. That one on Raw, I've seen people saying that was a great angle. It was terrible. It was so bad. It was awful. Like, honestly, even I was watching going, lads, come on, Seth. And I can handle Seth more than most. He was doing me head in. Punk was just on autopilot. And Drew was the one kind of doing the heavy lifting near the end of it. But it took near like the end of that segment where it was getting going. And even then it was like, lads, this is just trying too hard here. It peaked weeks ago. But after saying that, it's been such a good build for the 6.5 months. And it's, you know what it is more than anything, Benno? It's the fucking intrigue of it. As you say, does Punk blow up after 2 minutes? Literally his body.
The non-kayfabe intrigue. I get
yeah. Do they start work shooting? Do they start shooting? You just don't know how it's going to go. I'm just so intrigued for this match. Overall, work, shoot, everything about it. It's big, Benno. It's massive. It is.
It's CM Punk in a singles match in WWE. That's it is, whatever you think of Punk and whatever you think of, you know, where we are and what the build's been like, that in itself is big enough. My interest is definitely lower than it was last week. I mean, like you said, Batty, that was the settings just
It was awful.
Just an unnecessary distraction.
Wasn't needed.
Look at him.
Wasn't
The image we're looking at here on the video version. Look at him. Just fuck off, will you? Get out the way.
But Benno, he was doing well.
I want the bell to ring. I want Punk to knock him out, and then Drew to fucking Claymore kick him, and then we just take him out, and they just have their fight. Like, that's what they should do, you know? That's genuinely what they should do.
Seth was toning it down for weeks. He did. He toned it down. That Punk segment the other week, he was brilliant in that. He was toned down. Even if he's got to wear this flashy gear, keep it what he's doing, just all black or something, you know. I know he's got to ham the referee bit up, but come on, there's ways you can do it still, that he can be his character and not just be like this. As you say, it's meant to be this really personal feud, which it has been, and then he's there like just trying to bring it down a bit. Yeah, I agree with that, and as I say, I can handle Seth more than most, but I think we will get it though, Ben. I think on the night he will wear something a bit extravagant, but I think there'll be a part where he's out the picture and we will get like a bit of a serious match made. And the odds, and he's put in the chat, the bookies can't split these, Ben. 8-11 Drew McIntyre, 10-11 CM Punk. It could go either way. I personally think, sorry, make one.
I was just devil's advocate. Maybe Seth wore the Daft outfit on Raw because he's going to take it seriously on the pay-per-view, because it was weird that he did that.
Yeah.
Like, why didn't he just wait for the pay-per-view? Maybe that's how. Maybe there's something that we're not thinking of that's going to like lessen that factor on it. Rewind them back before we get into who's going to win, because it is an interesting conversation. It has overall, though. I think Hangman Swerve is the best feud in wrestling right now. I absolutely do. But I think this runs at a close second, even with the criticism I've given it over the last couple of weeks, because it has ran too long, but a lot of that's been Punk's, injury. I can't think of a WWE story. We should, kind of recognise that I can't think of a WWE story in a very long time where, like, I've actually believed the two men hate each other. And maybe that, again, the last couple of weeks, that's been chipped away at a little bit with the various news stories you hear. But it's still very, very hot story. They're going to be hot in the building for it. And it's been, Garrett doesn't like it, but it's been the best work of Drew McIntyre's career. It absolutely has. It has. It's been the best work of his career. I was not a Drew McIntyre guy ever in my life before. Even when he was on the Indies doing his rah-rah promos, he's been fantastic on the mic overall. That's just kind of, just being honest about how he's been. If anything, he's been better than Punk in this feud, and that says a lot too.
That's a lot to you to say that, Ben. That's big, that.
And at points this has felt like Punk, punching his clock, being corporate man Punk, and then there's been those little shine bits where you've gone, oh, that's the Punk that we kind of want in WWE. That little bit of a venom when it's gone off the rails a little bit. But even at like 70% power, Punk's still a better promo than anybody else in this fucking company outside of maybe even Drew in this feud. But overall, obviously Punk has got him on promos. So yeah, I'm very into this overall, and yeah, I'm gonna try and look past Seth. I'm gonna try and look past the dragon nature of the last couple of weeks, and just enjoy how hot this is gonna be, and hope for an un-WWE match where it feels a bit violent and it feels a bit like it's two people trying to rip each other's heads off, even with a clown sat in the corner. And yeah, just hope that we get a CM Punk win as. Is that the odds saying that? 10-12. You read the odds for me. GP normally does 10-1.
Drew's slight favourite. Drew McIntyre's slight though, but you can't call it. They're both odds. They're both odds on, Benno. They're both odds on, okay. So that means they're both under even, so they can't really split it. You know what I mean? That's what that means. But I think the best way to go for this match, Benno, is the fact of you don't want Punk taking moves. You want it to be like fists in a scrap to protect Punk. At the same time, I know we'll have to take them eventually to see if his body can. But if he's starting to take them DDTs again and take all Drew's high offense, it could end up.
Some point, though.
I know, but
then you got to wrestle.
but this is the match where you can hide it, because it has been built on that personal issue that you could go in there and have a scrap at the same time. So, as I say, this is all the intrigue. This is what I honestly can't wait to see this match. And I think the way it's gone, I think McIntyre is going to win. And will Punk hate lying down in his first match? Okay, he might have to swallow that shit there, but I think Drew's got to win this one. And it could be off Seth costing him, do you know what I mean? That's how it's going to happen. But I think Drew overall has got to. I know he's robbed his fucking Punk's bracelet and he's left him bloody, but he's cost him the title.
That was the one bit I liked on Raw when he pulled that out. It was like, oh, it reminded you. Yeah, it was good, that.
But I think Drew will win this. I'm going sticking my neck out and I'll say Drew will get the win.
There you go. Well, yeah, Andy Ogden saying there, Drew has to win this. Punk can drift off to face Seth. It would, overall, it would make Drew look daft after, again, him being embarrassed one too many times by Punk going into this. It would make him look like a proper chump. But you know what? I think, despite our clash on opinion on Drew, I'd be happy for Gareth if that happened. I think he'd get more joy out of that than I'd get pain. So maybe we go that route. Or yeah, Chris says here full SummerSlam '97 with Seth and Punk. They're not gonna be able to. It might be too on the nose now to do as the finish, but they're gonna have some kind of nod to it in the middle.
The spit. They'll do the spit definitely. He'll spit and Seth. Yeah, 100%. And
what will he pull out? What's a modern WWE weapon that's not a steel chair? What they use?
Fucking sledgehammer, won't it? No, Seth. It'll be sort of like
the barricade somehow. Fucking love that spot, don't they? They'll find a way. They always do.
But I with Drew getting screwed as well that many times, but he's etched shit. He's been pinned that many times in his home fucking country, country WrestleMania. He needs to win, Benno. He needs to win.
Yeah, I think so. So yeah, I'll go with Drew in the end now as well.
Okay. Next up for the Intercontinental title, it's a rematch from Money in the Bank. It's Sami Zayn defending the title against Bron Breakker. Another match which it's a strange one because they done the clean finish, didn't they, at Money in the Bank, which, to be fair, did playing well. It was the young, the rookie coming onto the roster against the veteran, and he got overzealous and he got caught and he got pinned. I think, and I like Bron Breakker's interview style's been good. His promos to the camera have been good. He's, even he said I learned from it. He's been intense ever since he come on the main roster. I've always been a big fan. I had to bite my teeth a few times when we were on Spotlight a couple of years ago, Ben, when we were talking about him. But
did you?
I did, yeah. I had to, of course. I feel more comfortable now. But if it was now, I feel more comfortable. But I think he's going to win the title. He's got to win the title. And, if anyone's going to put him over good and proper, it's Sami Zayn, isn't it? As you say, one of the best baby faces. It could, this would be a good one, Ben.
Probably. But how many times have we said that recently? Like, he's going to be losing it to Chad. Oh, he's going to lose it to Bron last time. It just, against the odds, it keeps not happening. Yeah. So now I'm like, doubt myself, because Andy says there, the odds, look at that. Even I can read those odds. 10-1 on for Bron. I think that's how you say it. 1-10, I'd say it.
1-10, I'd say it.
5-1.
Yeah.
Might put a 5 on that,
But Benno, I was going to say this. What happens is, though, and then they usually do throw one result in. That isn't as obvious. They will, because they'll have to.
He's got to drop the belt if he's coming back to do his bloodline stuff, hasn't he? He's got to move into that world.
Yeah.
It would be too big for Bron. I think finally they're doing it, and Bron's going over.
Well, I did read as well that it's at a bigger stage that he's getting his coronation than Money in the Bank at a stadium and SummerSlam and stuff like that. So it does. And as I say, at the time I wasn't big on that face, but then you look into it more and you go, yeah. And they've explained it well that he got caught as the rookie. Great stuff. And yeah, I think he's going to win the belt.
It's got a seal in this match, but I think it'll be very good. Do you know what I mean? It's not going to go.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah,
5 stars probably. I'm not going to even get into the 4 range, but I think it's going to be very good, solid, and
definitive.
Definitive. Yeah, for the Bron Breakker portion. Yeah, you move Sami onto other stuff. I'm with you on that.
Yep. Great stuff, Benno. We're moving on to the next title match. All these, as I say, are title matches, and one that, like, to be fair, has been built up. Like,
is this an AEW pay-per-view? They're all title matches, mate.
They're all, except for one, mate. They're all title matches. We'll announce the match first. It's for the WWE Women's World Title. It's Liv Morgan defending the title against the returning Rhea Ripley. Now, I'm very all over the place on this, Benno, because you'd expect me to love this storyline, wouldn't you? You'd expect me to absolutely be so invested in this. About it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I'm just not. I hate picking on Liv Morgan. It's just her performances just don't do it for me. Big fan of Rhea Ripley. I think she's fucking brilliant. Everything about her is just phenomenal. And we need to get the title back on her because, it was just a placeholder for Liv to win the title while she was away. And they've done, at the same time, they've done well writing it into this with the Dominic stuff. I will give it that. So it does make sense when, obviously, Rhea's come back. But I think you've just got to get the title back on Rhea here, Ben. I can't see how Liv Morgan can win unless there's a screw job, unless there's a Finn Balor heel, turning, or the Dominic actually doing the dirty. But I just can't see. I don't know, Ben. Can you see Dominic doing the deed and turning heel and costing Rhea?
That's probably the Russo out, innit? That's the swerve on top of a swerve on top of a swerve. Your hat on top of a hat on top of a hat. Yeah, I think that's probably what's.
It's a big moment. Don't get me wrong, and I'll be like, for fuck's sake, what are you doing? I'll be right.
Otherwise, if we think about it logically, do we want him to be the babyface? Like, he should be.
No, you're right.
He should whine with Liv, and he should go with Rhea as a babyface. That's how this should end. However you get there. Look, I almost like I didn't regret it when we laid into her on Spotlight. It wasn't just Gareth; it was all of us. Like, and surprisingly, you. But I don't know. You've got to point to successes sometimes, and as a rating success, it has been one. And from a fan investment point of view, it has been one. Like, it just has. They're into it. I don't know why they're into it, but they're into it. And I think if you want WWE to be different than AEW, WWE does this daft, romance soap opera stuff. And their audience laps it up. Those fucking, Trump rally people that I encountered at Money in the Bank are going to be fucking loving this, mate. And yeah, it'll be a big moment when that happens with Dominic, because I think that probably is what's going to happen.
But it's Liv again, like on Raw, she was better in the pre-tape where she was burning the stuff. I think you've got to protect her in them ways, you know what I mean? When she's in front of the live crowd, although it's over, like her crying and that, I mean, it was awful. Like, it was so bad. And again, it's wrestling, Ben. I don't expect everyone to be like, fucking Metal Streep here, but it was that bad. Do you know what I mean? But Rhea and
JP always say something can be bad and not for you, but also the right thing to do in the situation. And if it's working, it's working. Like,
yeah, it'd be a great, I'd say it'd be a shocking moment if Dom does it, and it will get a great reaction if he turns and stuff like that. But let's see what happens.
5-4 Rhea, Liv 4-7,
yeah,
7-4 on. Yeah, I think it's a given pretty much at this point, but they'll be invested.
Yeah, of course. We'll move on to the next match for the WWE United States Championship. It's Logan Paul defending the title against LA Knight, and I mean, this has got to be, and this for one, like, it's got to be a coronation of LA Knight. This Benno, he's not unbelievably, actually, he stayed over, Benno. Like, people had the doubts at first, when he first getting over, people couldn't believe it.
Leslie didn't cut the legs out for under him because, for reasons, obviously the other cunt's gone. Yeah, but that's more the surprise. Like, this could have been happening for 20 years, Matty. People got over and you went with it. Imagine that. Imagine that world, eh? Imagine not going, we'll just turn him. We'll just stop featuring him. I don't like the way his face looks and move him off somewhere else. Like,
his age.
But
yeah. But
I'll give credit, though, to your point. He was bubbling under in the big thing, and then a lot has happened, hasn't it? The rise of Cody, bringing Rock back, and he does a very similar act to it, all that, and he has managed to stay over to a point. Not everyone needs to be a top guy. He's a very good. This is a great example of an upper mid card match. Shitty things Logan Paul's in the news for doing right now aside, it's an upper mid card match that really fits, and it's a good spot for LA Knight.
It is, and it's a year, to the pay-per-view of when he got that. People laugh, but that big Slim Jim Battle Royal win was right, we're actually going with you for something and pushing it. He got the Roman match, didn't he? Got the big Mania win over AJ. So he has been like just floating along lovely and staying over better with all these big baby faces. He still gets great reactions every week. Got the catchphrases everyone knows. And I just really hope that he gets his coronation, because he fucking deserves it. He's one of them guys that always have a little soft spot for LA Knight. And the match itself, he's been improving in the ring as well. And Logan Paul, he's had a couple of near misses lately, but he usually delivers as well. So I'm expecting this to be a good match.
I'm not expecting a good match. Sorry.
You're not?
But praise does not involve the match. It's just not going to be good.
I think it'll be
it's going to be one of the weaker Logan Paul matches, I think. But we'll see. I mean, it just feels like a styles clash. It's good from a name value point of view. It's a good spot for LA Knight. It'd be good if he wins. But as a match, I can't say I'm looking forward to the in-ring.
But the odds, again, 1-7, LA Knight Benno, so surely he's bringing the title home.
Might get better after this weekend, to what Chris was saying there. But anyway, go on, what else we got?
Right, the next match for the WWE Women's title, it's Bayley defending the title against Queen Nia Jax, Benno. And this is one, Bayley, to be honest with you, brutally honest, I think she's been awful as champion. You had the coronation at WrestleMania, similar. No, I'm not going to say similar to Cody. I don't want to hear the backlash off you yet, because he's done a good job, Cody. But they had the coronation at WrestleMania. Not being
against any main eventers, yeah. He's been great.
We'll go into this in a bit, because I can see a tirade coming in the main event. But Bayley, even if she's been booked, I don't think her performances or her promos have been good since she's been champion. I think that chase and that storyline with the damage control was like, it was just lightning in a bottle again, weren't it, at that time? And coming out of it, I just think she hasn't been great. But on the flip side, which people mightn't like, I think they've done a really good job with Nia Jax since that Rhea Ripley match in Australia, like, which exceeded my expectations. Like, I thought that was a good match. And ever since then, she's just that obviously natural heel that people don't like, and she obviously leans into that. But I think she's got better as well. So I'm expecting Nia Jax to win this one, Benno. New champions galore, mate. If it was me booking this card, Nia 4-7, 5-4 Bailey. So the odds are a bit closer here. But I think Nia Jax will get the win. And if Tiffany cashes in on Nia Jax, it could play into that. So there's a lot of things you can do. So yeah, I can imagine at all you are not one bit interested in this one, Benno.
Yeah, because it'll be crap. Nia Jax is in it. Like, and investment wise, even though I can tolerate the current WWE booking, you're right. Yeah, Bailey's booking's been horrendous, and yeah, it's just not something I'm particularly interested in. I guess I'll follow your logic and say Nia Jax is going over, but Raw match that sums it up, and these are absolutely right for me.
Right, and we'll move on now. We're getting into the big hitters now, Benno. For the WWE World Heavyweight title, we've got Damian Priest defending against Gunther. And is this another coronation of Gunther? It's been long predicted. Some would say long overdue. What are we doing here, Benno? Is Gunther going to get his moment in the sun, mate? Is he?
That literally sounds like they're changing all the belts here, apart from one in a minute, I hope. Yeah, definitely. It's got to be. It makes too much sense, doesn't it? Like the way they built Gunther up, the way the video packages they've done for him in the build to this and made out like the whole final boss story. Why would he lose? Like, he should win, or he should be the champion forever. Like that's what should happen. And you can find other things to do with Priest. And I don't think it's any great loss if he loses it either. He had their little moment in the sun with the mid card world title, and Gunther can make it a main event world title. Like, that's where I stand on it. And the one thing I'll say positive wise for me, like, I'm into it. Like Gareth said the other week, like, absolutely the segments have been good. Gunther's gone a little bit close to the bone on some of the stuff he's been saying. I know it's not been for everybody, especially coming from fucking this company. But his delivery's been good. The pull aparts have been good. It's felt like there's a bit of hate there, and it feels like, I said to JP, didn't I, on Tuesday, this is going to be a Damian Priest match, so I think there's going to be an ugly element to it. But if anyone can turn that ugliness into a positive, it's Gunther. And I expect to enjoy this. If, again, I think it's got a stealing. I'm not expecting 5 stars, 4.5 stars. I'm expecting maybe even an ugly 4. Dare I say it, above the 3.75 threshold. Maybe just an enjoyable 3.75. Maybe that's the safer bet. But I actually think I'm going to like this, based on like their chemistry so far, and just the fact that it's Gunther in a big spot, and yeah, he's going to take this with both hands, I think, and yeah, be the guy who actually makes this feel like it's an important belt.
I agree with everything you say on Gunther, but I'm heaping praise on Damian Priest. Like, ever since WrestleMania, he's improved. He had the Jey Uso match, which once again might be high praise for you guys, but got a good match out of Jey Uso. Then you had the Drew match, which I love. Just bombs a Clash of the Castle. But I think it's not, as you say, Ben. That's where it's intriguing here. It's not going to be just them bombs, big moves. It's going to be the striking, isn't it? Because it's Gunther in there. So, although we always say, like when people say about WWE, like the matches, I like it when the styles clash comes together, just to get, as you say, that bit of ugliness, that bit of awkwardness, and it can turn into like beautiful, violent kind of thing, which I hope, yeah. But like the chat is saying here, if Gunther does win, I don't think it'll be clean. I think Finn Balor will end up turning on Priest, and we're gonna have all these fucking turns on one show. But
like Platt says here, we're going Russo here, turns and switches of the prop. Like, no, Gunther's got to go over clean. Like,
you think that won't happen? Yeah. I don't think that'll happen. Not the way
it should. There's no shame in losing to Gunther. None. The way he's been protected his entire WWE run, I think that'd be fine. And you can tell your story with Finn afterwards. I don't think that'd hurt Damian Priest at all. Yeah, could happen. I'm not saying you're wrong in that. I'm just saying you don't have to do that. I hope they don't do that.
I'm trying to think of a thing where it's making say. Remember at WrestleMania 15 where I think China turned on fucking Kane to go with Triple H, but then Triple H in China joined the corporation. I'm thinking, how can they do that with like Dominic and Finn? But you know, somehow I don't know. I'm trying to think of a dynamic here about how they're going to do stuff like that. But who knows? Maybe they just have no interference throughout the whole show. No one loses a belt. Just go the other way around.
Well, I think they're going to need interference, mate, because the main event, is Cody Rhodes versus Cody Rhodes. Sorry, mate, I'll let you go. Go on.
The main event for the WWE Universal Championship, WWE title, is Cody Rhodes, the great defender, the great savior of the wrestling business, defending the title against Solo Sikoa. I love the fume. I've been listening to everybody saying Solo's not ready, and you know what? Maybe we'll find out. We'll find out if he's not.
We know.
Do we know?
We know he's not.
So if he does well, will you give him credit though? First and foremost, I get your promise now. I won't just be it's Cody. Well, yeah. And no, I'm saying if he has a good match here and a good performance, I want to hear you praise him on our special spotlight. Yes, that all right?
Might take a couple of years, mate. It's not going to happen.
Okay.
It's just not going to happen.
So at the same time, then Cody Rhodes has got to carry him. Then if he's this great, so he's got to carry this man to a respectable, good, whatever you want to call it, SummerSlam main event. So it's all on Cody Rhodes, is he? Is it?
Yeah, he shouldn't be in the position, but yeah, he'll have to, won't he? He'll have to.
Why shouldn't he be? He's been in the business 20 years, hasn't he? He's been in there nearly 20 years. There should be a night off for Cody Rhodes, shouldn't there? I'm just saying. But I don't think...
They've got a whole roster there, and it's Solo Sikoa. But anyway, go on.
I just don't think people are being a bit too harsh on Solo Sikoa, I think. This is where, at the same time, I always say, people have got to learn on the fly. People have got to be thrust into these positions to see if they can handle it better.
The world title match is SummerSlam.
Fair enough. And then if he doesn't, you give him a chance, don't you? You say, right, can you handle it? You're in there with a veteran. Can you handle this pressure? Can you handle
run a business?
This spot?
David Flair got booked on Nitro.
Yeah, but we're far away from that, Benno. 50,000 tickets have been sold. Cody Rhodes sold this as his babyface savior, hasn't he? It's fine.
Yeah,
it's all good.
Over.
It plays well with the story, Ben. I was going to mention that. You mentioned it before me. It fits right in. If the Bloodline win the tag titles, it'll be ramped up. And you said it to me the other week. A few weeks ago, I was 100% Cody Rhodes was going to win this. And you even put it in my head saying, I've heard a few people. And I was like, no, Benno. The more I've been watching TV, and maybe I'm getting suckered in, the more I've been reading, I would love it. Don't get me wrong. I would fucking love it. If he would. If Solo.
I'll give you that. There's a better chance of the match being good than Solo winning. Like, you and Triple H isn't that daft. No, it's not happening. No. It's just not happening. I think... A bigger question for you. We'll get into the Roman element of it. That'll play into it in some way. Feels to me like that's not happening. I don't see Roman turning up here. I think they would. I don't know. You speak this language better than me. I think they'd lay it on thicker. I think we'd have more time. I think that the time doesn't feel right to me.
It's the excitement for me, Ben, because as I heard you say on Spotlight as well, it was just that little. That backstage thing, or the pre-tape Solo ad on SmackDown, where he's mentioned him for a few weeks, but it's the first time we saw him on. It was a fucking video of him. They put his face on screen, didn't they? And I was thinking, there's a chance there. There's a chance, but at the same time, I got to agree with you. They would make it so glaringly obvious. They might do that on SmackDown and give it the last push with the big face-to-face meeting that Cody and Solo have got, where it's just them two. But yeah, I don't know, Ben. I'm torn. I want to see him back, of course I do. But
yeah, we all do, because then Cody can face a main eventer, and that fucking Solo Sikoa.
It's going to be Roman Reigns versus Solo Sikoa, but we're not going to get Cody Rhodes to be Roman Reigns on fucking Bash of Berlin or
but not, yeah, but obviously not as close.
Yeah, I agree. Do you know what I mean?
I would have gone, if they're doing that, then I think you should have just done the rematch. I'm doing Evolution versus the Shield and do the rematch with weapons. That's what they should have done here. And made it semi-main. And hid Solo Sikoa in that, and then the Roman moment is all anyone's going to be talking about. That's how you get away with it, to be fair. If the match is mid, and then Roman comes out, everyone forgets, don't they? It's Men in Black memory gone. But yeah, that has been my take on it, that I'm starting to think it's not happening. In which case, it's Cody Rhodes having to carry Solo Sikoa, and I think there'll be lots of bells and whistles. I think there will be a lot of Russo in this. I think there will be a lot of Jacob Fatu in this. You guaranteed he's doing something to a table, isn't he? Guaranteed he's doing something off the top rope at some point. Jacob in
referee bump in 1 to 1,000. Then in this
some life, but yeah, my criticism of it hasn't changed. It's an overall over story. It plays into the Roman stuff, the bloodline drama. bringing the old bloodline together as a babyface faction, all great ideas that have clearly got a gigantic investment with this audience. It's sold all these tickets. The negative is the actor playing Solo Sikoa isn't very good at any of his jobs. Not a good promo, not a good wrestler, not good at wearing a suit. Thank you, Ewan, for that in the chat. I agree with you, mate. And yeah, this is not going to be great, but it'll be a means to an end. I think. Overall, I want to see Cody work some main eventers. I want to see Cody actually, I think they're taking it for granted that he's so over and it's working so well, and just going out, we can give him B+ main events. Like, yeah, I'd like to see him in there with Roman again. I'd like to see him in there. I guess Gunther would have been another big option, but they haven't really got him. Punk could be something there. Even the other guys on the other side, they'd be better on Raw. Do something with Drew. Do something even with Seth, dare I say it. And it's got to be better than Solo.
Yeah, but Ben,
Orton could turn. That could be the finish.
I was just about to say that to you. The only thing that stopped me from saying that Orton will turn is that I think that'll be for the title, maybe, if Orton fights Cody. But you could do that without the title and lean into the legacy stuff, couldn't you? And that personal issue, that's another one. You never know, Benno. You just, Benno, there'd be victory laps on the Sunday if Solo should go with this title. It's only for the story to tell him better on TV, and maybe I'm invested and suckered in too much. I know he's playing Pretender on the show as the Bloodline 2.0. That's the whole gimmick. And he's trying to recapture, obviously, the Usos having the tag, which is going to be Jacob and Tammy. He's playing Roman with the belt. It could happen, Benno.
Thank God the role he's got to play is bad wrestler who's a bad promo who can't wear a suit. God help him if we have to play anything else.
I don't think he's that bad on the mic, Benno. He's been all right. Maybe wrestler, and we'll see. I think he's improved and lent into the role and grew into it as the weeks. He's had a lot of help with Tama Tonga, Jacob Fatu surrounding him. Of course he has. But I think he's getting better. And let's hope for a Solo win anyway. That's in my camp anyway.
Andy says, can we have a wee nap for the first 15 minutes until there's interference? Yeah, it's got to be one of those nights, isn't it? Ewan saying, yeah, we can't have all these turns. Like, what are you booking here, Matty? This is so Russo. Like,
let's just have a one-off, an old school pay-per-view, eh? Let's just go for it.
That's your old school, innit? That's your WCW. Jesus Christ. Yeah, I'm with Platt. I was going to come back to that. The biggest reason, and I'm going to look daft. There's going to be people who listen to this after SummerSlam.
Oh, yeah, not happening.
And those fucking idiots didn't think Roman was coming. But like Platt says here, yeah, bringing Jimmy back first, you would think, doing the Jay and Sammy thing, but with the rest of them, you think they'd develop more before.
And they've got to call Roman then to get him back or something in the end. There's loads of ways you can do it.
Maybe the story is Roman has to put the band back together. I don't know. But
yeah. I've heard rumours the Rock could turn up as well, Benno. You haven't even mentioned the big man yet. So
that'd be something, yeah. That was the thing, wasn't it? At the start, everyone was like, "Oh, Solo's not really." Solo's not really the leader. It's actually Dwayne. Maybe that's it.
He could help him win the title and crown him. There's loads of ways you can do it.
Shut up. So it's WWE title. Who cares? Oh, unbelievable. There we go.
Can't wait.
That was a mild grapple civil war for you. I think I'm just exasperated at this point. Maybe you'll get a full one on it.
Usually after the event, Benno, it's usually the
I actually hope it goes as badly. Maybe I should hope it goes as badly as possible so that I can have a go at you on Sunday. There we go.
You'll find a way regardless, Ben, I'm sure.
Yeah, Platt's tied to the invasion there. Absolutely. But there we go. That's SummerSlam coming up this weekend, Matty. I know you're excited. Big WWE show at the weekend.
I mean, the most important thing, Benno, is what snacks. I mean, I'm already thinking Doritos, sour cream and chive dips. The whole. I might even get a pack of flips, Benno. Just have.
I know not to bring Doritos or flips. I think I'll bring you some blue ribbons, mate. I've got a load of beers for my mate Alan, my real mate. Actually, gave me a load of birthday beers that he hadn't given me, so I've got some fun stuff. I'd even thought about that for Saturday. So yeah, pack into them. Maybe a pizza, but I'm not baking my own. Order in.
You never again, Benno. Never again,
mate. I've got the second base in the fridge still, but I'm too scared to use it now. I've been scared off, mate. No cooking for me. But yeah, Dwayne the final boss. Solo did it for The Rock. Yeah, maybe they'll get there. But there we go. That's SummerSlam. And elsewhere, what else we got to go on this weekend? I'll be quick. The G1's going on. Does anyone care? Not really. Last couple of days have been dreadful. But yeah, day 9 is coming up and day 10 over the weekend. We have Jake Lee, Callum Newman, Evil, Great Khan, Tatsuya Naito, Gabe Kidd, Sanada Shota Umino, and Shingo Zack Sabre Jr. on day 9. And then on day 10, we have Dave Finlay versus Oleg Bolton, El Fantasmo versus Yamura, Jeff Cobb versus Hanare, Hiroki Goto versus Konosuke Takeshita in one that Matty might see, and Ren Narita versus Yota Tsuji. That is, I believe, that's Sunday's card. So yeah, there you go. If you're into the G1 right now, JP gave you the rundown yesterday on the midweek news dump, but we'll run late. I don't think anyone cares. What else is going on this weekend, Matt?
What else is going on, Benno? It's your old favourite promotion. It's GCW, now and forever. These have a show every week, don't they? Fucking hell, GCW. In here from Cleveland, Ohio, from the Temple Live Asylum Room. In a 6-man tag, we've got Arez, Galano Del Mal, and Jack Cartwheel versus Alec Price, Dustin Waller, and Marcus Mathers. Not a rapper. We've got a singles match, John Wayne Murdoch versus Makai Atoe. I hope I pronounced that right. Mahito. Tag team match, Bang and Matthews of August Matthews and Davey Bang versus CPF of Danny Black and Joe Lando. Gringo Loco against Sidney Akeem. The Maharaja versus Effie.
Is that?
That's Jinder Mahal, yeah. That's Jinder Mahal. Joshua Bishop versus Zilla Fatu. Mance Warner in a pick your poison match. Mance Warner against the mystery opponent. And also on the flip side, another pick your poison match. It's Joey Janela versus a mystery opponent.
I think that might be out of date because Joey Janela said he's unwell. He's got some. He took a picture with Fred Durst. He loves his ECW nostalgia. Does our Joey? I don't know if that match is on anymore. But all this to say, if you're thinking why did Benno include this, JP's not even here. Yeah. What's the main event, Matthew?
One of my namesakes in this one, Benno. In the main event of this event, it's Matthew Hardy versus Nick Gage in a dream match, apparently. I see that today. It got announced as a dream match, and I will say, in the response to the scene, a dream match for who?
I'm so embarrassed I ever, thought I liked GCW. I had a flag and everything, mate. I was into it. And then I went and saw it live. I was like, this is a bit crap, this one. Jesus Christ. That sums up GCW, though, doesn't it? I can't remember if it was on Discord or elsewhere, which was just wondering aloud, how is GCW, still a thing? How is it this not
it's the biggest indie, but,
doing this well? They haven't had a creative spark in about 3 years. They just run the same shows, it feels like, wall to wall every weekend. Yeah. And still do well. There's GCW podcast out there. What do they even talk about? Matt Hardy versus Nick Gage, I guess, is what they talk about. How shit does that sound like? Especially this version of Nick Gage. Good Lord.
But Ben, to be fair to them, though, on the flip side, they always have the 2 days, and the second day always looks better, to be fair.
It's like a Shane McMahon versus Nick Gage, as Andy Ryan says here.
We can all wish for that. But on the second show they're running on Sunday, August the 4th, it's GCW Can I Trust You? It's Gringo Loco versus Tony Deppen. It's the Maharaja versus Mike Bailey. It's Fujo Del Sol and Sam Stackhouse versus the Rich and Powerful of Charles Mason and Richard Holiday. It's Cyclope and Miedo Extremo versus the Legion of Rot in Frightmare and Hallow Wicked. It's Matt Tremont versus Zilla Fatu. Pick your poison match yet again. Blake Christian against mystery opponents. And in the main event, well, if he's going to turn up for this one, if he's not sick, it's a tag team match. It's Joey Janela and Megan Bain versus Broski Jimmy and Mance Warner.
Okay.
Yeah. That's your second show, Benno. That's your second show, mate.
Okay, that's happening.
See you minutes now.
That's our US Indie Roundup done. Not saying that. Europe apparently, there's as Ewan said in the chat there. I was going to include even, and there's no matches on Cage Match. Apparently, one's been announced. I don't know what it is. That's happening, but that's it really. Apart from around the world, I think people are obviously the other thing about those GCW shows. They're in where did they be for the
Cleveland?
Cleveland. They're in Cleveland. Yeah, they're knocking around there. Yeah. So they haven't missed the trick. But yeah, that's everything going on this weekend. We know what we're getting up to this weekend. Footy will be back soon. Looking forward to that. We've been setting up the FPL draft. So my weekends will be taken up by that soon. But yeah.
I've retired from that, Ben. Officially announced me retirement.
You retired the season you were in it. What are you on about? You put effort in 1 week, you'd have stayed up. 1 week.
I know. You know what? I was wasting a spot because I have that idea of keeping up, and I do, Ben, for a few months, and then it does become lazy. So it's a wasted spot, and I've had a great time, obviously, chatting with the lads and so forth. But give me spots. Be doing an Arn Anderson here, Benno, giving me spot up for a younger guy who deserves it.
Not my spot, your spot, not my dog's spot. Love that Kevin Nash.
But I think Kurt Hennig was older than Arn Anderson probably when he was giving him that spot.
Before we go wheel that one out, what did you tweet today, Matty? We'll start with Hamlet's tweet was Shane McMahon, wasn't it? 2 years younger than Larry David was in the first season of Curb Your Enthusiasm, which was fucking... Larry David looked about 90 in the first season of Curb Your Enthusiasm. Well, fuck me, did you wound me up today, Matty?
Right, and this was Crewy helping me with this because I've been started watching the American Pie movies last night. So obviously, if everyone's familiar with the movies, you know, Stifler's mom, Jennifer Coolidge, you know, presented as that old woman, you know, I hate saying the term, but MILF was phrased on American Pie, wasn't it? The term.
That was where it came from, the term.
That was genuinely where it came from, you know, positioned as that older woman, you know, who's been divorced, who's on her own, you know, all finished. Jennifer Coolidge, when she filmed that role, was 36 years of age.
Stifler's mom.
Stifler's mom. And I know the lads are, you know, finishing high school or whatever they'll call it, or 17, 18 years of age. But 36 years of age, Benno. I mean...
That's a young lady.
That is a young woman, yeah.
Her and Mick Foley, you know, they should be out in town now, living it up, you know, leaving the other stuff to us old men. Jesus Christ. I don't know if that's better or worse than Foley.
Yeah, it's unbelievable stuff.
What happened? Honestly. Like, was there something in the food in, like, the 90s and 2000s? Like, I don't feel that old. I'm 4 years older than that.
Man, we've been obsessed with it. I'm obsessed with it in daily life. Everyone new I talk to, I try and bring it up to people, and they all agree. In work, what people say, you know, it's the old bullseye. I started seeing people on there, like, and they just look 60, but they're like 30, and it's just escalated, hasn't it? And people are just onto it now. Something's happened then. Something's happened that we're just unaware of, mate. It's cosmetics got better.
Maybe people felt like this in the 90s, 40-year-olds were like, I'm not that old. Like, look at him in the 1960s. That's a real 40-year-old.
But it was finished. If you hadn't, like, left home, been married and had a kid by the time you're 24, you were finished. Back in the day.
My mum was 19 when she had me.
Yeah.
My mum was 19.
Yeah.
I'm older than double my mum's age when she had me.
Yeah.
Like, that's just like...
It's ridiculous,
well, that's
mate.
changed. You are right.
Well, yeah, Liam, mate, in the chat here, he's saying, I've never watched The Wire.
But he's watching the American... We shock you this, Liam. He told me this in the chat today. That his favourite American Pie is American Pie 2, the crap one. Of course it is. You like the slightly worse one in the worst setting that does all the first one's jokes, but worse.
Better soundtrack, better scenes. But Liam, it's one show a winter, mate. I promise everyone I'll watch The Wire when the Dark Knight's coming, mate. Promise you that.
Don't wish for it, folks, because you'll end up not liking it. I think you'll like. I think it's impossible to not like The Wire. But
exactly.
Well, there we go. Whatever everyone's doing, have a great one. Andy's going the footy. I won't even try and pronounce it. Within Show versus.
You've done well there, Ben.
And the FA Cup extra preliminary round. Yeah, Ewan saying there, yeah, just saving money for All In Weekend. That's what we should all be doing. But yeah, get your tickets for All In Weekend if you haven't already. And yeah, you're doing the American Pie Book of Love films. Don't be going that far, Matty. You can't be doing.
Oh no, to be fair, I've got the Steph got me. I've got the 8-disc, box set of all them in. But even I won't go that far. They're terrible. The other four American. But I love the wedding and I love the reunion. Ties all the loose ends up and it's a good story and I can't wait to watch them. Yeah, I'm an American Pie for life. Love it.
Unreal. Well, anyway, whatever you're doing, folks, have a great weekend. Thank you, all of our patrons, for tuning in tonight. Again, if you're listening to the replay or watching the replay, you could have joined us live if you were a patron or a YouTube member. August is a massive month. There's loads coming up. So you would definitely, if this was ever a month to get your money's worth, this is definitely the one. So yeah, thank you to all our patrons. Thank you to our YouTube members, and yeah, thank you to everybody else who's listening on the replay. Thank you to our Kings of the Mountain, Conor Laughlin, Eddie Sideburns, Chris Platt, Ewan Cameron, and Carl Gack. And we will catch you again on Spotlight on Sunday. Fuck, it's in 2 days. See you then. I'll sleep between now and then.
Ta-da.
Good night, all.